This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
I'm not okay with that.
It sounded good when I thought.
Log on and join our live conversation.
Yes, I don't like
right.
that. You're 100% right.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It is a Friday. Woo!
Hey.
That was a good
Wow,
reaction.
really?
Thank you.
Everybody, geez, act like we got a weekend coming up.
Thank you, Beelan. I appreciate that. It
Right.
is September 9th. I'm here with Stephanie, Al, Brandon. I'm Tori. Sam has the morning off. Let's jump right into it. Well, we begin with fierce speculation right now that the president may replace Vice President Mike Pence heading into the 2020 election. There have been reports of mounting tensions behind the scenes, plus new rumors that Ivanka Trump and her husband Jared Kushner are pressing Trump to replace Pence with a female running mate. They believe that's the way to win back the suburbs in 2020. One of the names being floated is former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. She recently tweeted, totally out of the blue, that she'd never replace Pence on the ticket. Nikki, just so you know, has been a favorite and a star in the Republican Party for a long time as maybe running for president.
I was going to say, you think she's planning on running?
I think she could and do very, very well. But I don't.
Sharp.
Very sharp. She did. She ran South Carolina brilliantly. She handled the Confederate statues brilliantly. Yeah. If you were Nikki Haley, would you say yes?
I think she should.
Why?
That's interesting.
Because I want a woman, and I mean, I would have thought, maybe Ivanka would have been pushed forward.
Yeah, no way.
But yeah, exactly. You say no, because I think the days of like family dynasties in politics are long gone. We've seen the Kennedys, the Bushes. It's no longer happening anymore. But I want to see a female, and I think that's what people want to see.
I do too. But would it be silly of Nikki to brand herself with Trump, who is so a brand of his own, right? Like it reflects back on you. Would you wait if you were Nikki Haley?
Reflects? It's like standing next to the sun. Yeah. I mean, you are now responsible for everything. I mean, think about if you married,
the cleanup guy.
If you just married somebody that had the track record of our president, no matter how you feel about him, I don't care. But if you married him, you would then have to face questions from your family.
Right.
Do you care that he did this? Do you care that he said this? Do you agree that he said this? And I don't know if Nikki Haley wants to do it because now she's going to be in a position where either she's going to have to defend the person she's running with, which now makes her on the hook for those comments as well, or distance herself,
which can hurt her in the
would hurt
future.
her if they're running together.
That's right.
So I don't think she can.
So that's why I don't see this happening.
So you think he's going to stick?
Mike Pence is going to stick because you think of the white evangelical Christians who voted Donald Trump into office. They voted for him 81% over 16% to Hillary Clinton. So you got President Trump, like you said, if anyone tries to categorize you with him, Mike Pence has already kept
branded.
his reputation. He's already branded.
Yeah,
he's okay. And I can see him being the conservative Christian Republican that he is.
But those Christians
in the
are always going to be there,
I
though.
think Trump has
They're
those.
single-issue voters. They're not going to. If you had a bag of cement that had an R on it for Republican, evangelical Christians would vote. They voted for a man that was having sex with a porn star 2 days after his son was born. They were like, that's our guy. Because they don't care about him. They care about abortion.
But
so it doesn't matter.
What does Tori say? The pendulum always swings. So
Not with evangelical Christians. Their pendulum is stuck.
But don't you think they're going to want Mike Pence to replace Donald Trump as president when he's out of office?
No, he doesn't have the character. I will say this.
Okay.
I think what they need is Pennsylvania soccer moms. That's who went from Obama to Trump. I think they need a female.
That sounds like a fantasy football name.
Pennsylvania soccer mom.
Yeah.
It's a good trivia name, actually. Well, right now, Hurricane Dorian is making landfall in North Carolina. As we're learning more about the devastating situation in the Bahamas, Kelly, tell us all the latest. What's going on?
Tori, right now Hurricane Dorian is hitting North Carolina and thousands of people are without power. Now here's a live look at the slow-moving Category 1 hurricane right now, which has sustained winds around 90 miles an hour. But the big story today is in the Bahamas, where we're learning more about the shocking devastation there. Officials say at least 30 people are dead, but they say there are hundreds, maybe thousands still missing right now. And even more disturbing, reports are coming in from the BBC that people are so desperate for food and water, they're trying to shoot each other for supplies. Tori, I'll let you know if I get any new information.
Oh my Lord.
Wow.
Al, you've had some experience.
Yeah, well,
with
a couple quick things about that. Like, I think people look at that footage of the Bahamas like it's some faraway land. You can take I lived in Miami for 10 years. You can take day trips to Bahamas and just go hang out for the day and then come back. I mean, the Bahamas is very close to American shores, and those are just regular folks.
Look at that.
And I know people look at that and they're like, oh my God, those people are killing each other. I've been through 3 hurricanes. Let the power go out for 24 hours and we'll see how those people act, because those people will be your neighbors. Once the cops stop answering 911, once the traffic lights stop working, once the electronic pumps for gas in their 4.5-hour lines, we'll see how those people act, because those people will be y'all real quick.
Wow.
Miss 3 meals and then come talk to me.
Wow.
So when you see those situations, it's literally like Lord of the Flies comes to life.
That is it.
And
it's every man for themselves.
What was that movie where with the rugby team that like crashed the plane?
Alive.
Like
That's a true story.
In all these dangerous situations, crazy things happen.
Wow. Well, we are speaking about that. We're hearing from crew members on board the deadly dive boat, which was consumed by fire off the California coast over Labor Day. Of the 39 people on board, 5 crew members, only 5, were found alive, including the captain. Now, here is what the owner of the boat told reporters. Take a look.
Captain Jerry remained on the boat as long as he possibly could, trying to get those radio calls in. They said that they could see Jerry jump from the upper deck, a long jump, and that there was a trail of smoke following him. They thought he was on fire.
The owners of the boat company have reportedly filed a lawsuit to limit the amount of money victims' families can get while the investigators continue to search for what caused the fire. Let's just hear that for a second. Doesn't that sound like a pretty quick and awful thing to do?
Yeah.
To limit what the victims can get before we even really know what happened?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lawyers, what are you acting?
All right, okay.
Yeah.
It seems a bit rash of the boat company. I would think they'd put out.
You've been on these boats. Like, what's the breakdown? I'm not a swimmer, so I would never be out here. So tell me a person that would never get on a dive boat for any reason.
So this is the thing that's really shocking and upsetting about this is like dive boats. Obviously, they go out into the middle of the ocean. They go out onto.
How far out?
Like far, right?
It depends on the different dive sites, but these are really well-equipped boats, especially for health and safety, because literally not only your life when you're diving, but everyone else that you're diving with life is in danger, because you know you're doing a very dangerous activity. So it's supplied with oxygen and defibrillators and amazing health and safety kits. So there should be no reason on earth why you're on one of those boats, why something really tragic like this should happen.
Wow.
Now everything is really of the utmost standard. So the fact that there's been some form of negligence on this boat to cause this fire is extremely concerning.
Right.
Like apparently they're saying that the fire could have been sparked by people charging their phones, which obviously is something electrical that's gone wrong on the boat.
Can I ask you something? Because there's oxygen, do you think that helped make the flame
potentially?
Because they said it blocked both exits. They were just trapped.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like a fire. Something like an explosion.
It's funny, Stephanie. Well, not funny. Stephanie said this, and I'm glad you did, to kind of give people some sort of context to what these dive boats are supposed to be equipped with, because the preliminary investigation has said that there was no night watchmen who were supposed to be awake while everyone was asleep to go ahead and wake people up just in case something was happening. Another thing they said that they didn't brief the passengers on any sort of safety protocol.
See, that's absolutely crazy.
I liken that to when we're in the exit row. Let's say you're in the exit row on a flight. The flight attendant comes over. She's always telling me to take my headphones off because she has to tell you the protocol. I think that, yes, maybe that 2 exits were blocked off because of fire, but if there was some sort of protocol put in place, someone could know that there's some sort of emergency hatch or something, some sort of equipment that can get them out of there.
Brandon, someone wrote in earlier and said, why didn't the fire alarms go off? There's some a fire alarm should be on a boat, I assume.
Yeah, and I presume, obviously, if this was in the evening, because a lot of the passengers were actually underneath the deck of the boat because they were sleeping. I presume that was to do a night dive, which obviously it has to be pitch black, which is obviously why they're out at that time. Yeah.
That is the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, don't let this put you off, people. It's fabulous.
Of course not.
There's 2 X's on Al's bucket list right now.
Night hate swimming. All right, well, get this. An American Airlines mechanic has been arrested for sabotage. Now, the man is accused of disabling a navigation system on a flight with 150 people on board before it was scheduled to take off in Miami. Now, according to the complaint, the mechanic was upset over a labor dispute. Thankfully, no one was injured. Here's just a little more background. He put a piece of foam and super glue and thought, don't worry, the sensors will catch it before anyone takes off. He didn't want to harm anyone, so he says. But the plane was on the runway, and the pilot was like this.
About to thrust.
I mean, about to go off, and they said, oh, something's wrong. So we were this close. Is this an act of terrorism?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not just saying that because of his name, Abdul, something like that. I'm going to throw that out there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is terrorism because of the greed involved with it. Your overtime, which, let's say, how much are you getting for that overtime?
Time and a half.
Time and a half. But
that's what he wanted. Explain that. He wanted
time and a half. He wanted the overtime because he knew, or he thought, that they would be able to pick up on this like they did, and he would be the one that has to go in and fix it. He gets time and a half.
Got it.
But, sir, there's 150 people on this flight. Now, how many times when we come up with some sort of plan, we're like, we're going to do this, and I'm gonna rig this or do this, and it doesn't go our way.
Right.
So what if that plane did take off? This is potential, I think, terrorism, potential homicide.
I see what you're saying, Brandon. Let me just throw this, and I want to see how you guys respond to this, because I absolutely see what you're saying. But, like, you and I are two goofy dudes, you know? Let's say we wanted to do something fun. Let's say, like, DBL was having a picnic, and we were like, let's shoot some fireworks off, and it'll scare everybody, or something, you scare the birds or something like that. We shoot them off, it starts a fire, it causes a riot. Somebody runs, somebody falls, breaks their leg. All these things happen, and somebody's like, Brandon London set explosives off. Is he a terrorist? I think a lot of I don't think he was trying to be
I don't think he was
a terrorist.
trying to
I think he was trying to be greedy.
Right.
I think it was another motivation.
But it was stupid.
But it was, I guess, an act of terror.
But an act of terrorism, let me be very clear, because words matter, has to be, I want to incite terror and a climate of fear. I don't think
he was doing that. I think he wanted to incite his checking account to grow.
I think you're exactly right. I think so. But please write us in, DBL, please. DBL, we are live, guys. And coming up, a teenager sets out to help others while dealing with her own health battle. We'll tell you about the invention she came up with that's making a huge difference. And you, the viewer, are with host. Citigroup's decision to declare the NRA a domestic terrorist organization has people taking sides. So what do you think? We'll share your comments coming up next.
You dream?
Hi, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team, tracking all the breaking and trending news for you right now. But I think we're going to go to the desk and see what's going on with our host. Hey, guys, what's happening up here?
David was trying to.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
What's happening?
Dive boats. Hey, Stephanie, tell us more about like your dive boat adventures, because I feel like you're the most adventurous person.
I've never
in
met
this
anyone
room
like
right
her
here.
before.
You do a lot of
I think this is
crazy
literally
stuff.
the most tragic thing, because honestly, it's like kind of being in a hospital and dying. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
so tragic. Because
And you're so trapped.
And
you're surrounded by water.
They're surrounded by water when you die of a fire, and when you're surrounded by water. Just imagine that, and you've got the equipment to literally get in the water and survive for hours on end.
I never thought about that. You could go under.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Now, some of them were diving.
In the night?
I think so.
Well, I presume
trying
that's
to
the
find-
reason. So at night you can obviously see different species, and you can see everything in different lights, and obviously it's so beautiful. And there's a lot of different places in the world where you can go and see amazing manta rays that only come out in the darker
My worst
hours of
nightmare.
night. Okay, yeah, Tori's got a very big fear. What is the fear?
Thalassophobia. That's not it. That's not right. But it sounds similar to that.
So Tori's got a really big
don't
fear
like
You're on top of it.
Tori's scared of the open water, and she's scared of large animals.
I don't like
in the water.
yeah.
So whenever we talk about these stories, she can't look at the screen.
Is the manta ray the one with the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't like the ones with the thing.
Yeah, no.
Because they do
The
this.
tail, the sting.
tail?
They actually feel really good. They're
Stingray?
really.
You touched one before?
Yes.
Nah, it's not me.
They're very smooth.
They used to have
Yeah, they're
excursions
really
for carnival.
cute.
Like you can hold them. They feel like wet pancakes almost.
Don't they
What's
eat
a
from your
snack?
hand? Do they eat from your hand?
Yeah.
Like, can't you like feed it?
Yeah.
From...
Yeah, they're like being tickled.
What's a mouth? Is the mouth on the underside?
It's underneath.
Yeah,
It's kind of
okay.
underneath.
But wait,
Let's see, girl.
They're like they're
I'm okay with
didn't
that.
Stingray kill Steve Irwin?
Yeah.
Yes.
May he rest. What a wonderful
So why
human
would
being.
y'all want to go touch it?
Well, they're usually, that was a very
That
rare
was a
thing.
very
Freak accident.
Steve
They don't
Irwin was a
attack.
very
It went right to
It
his
hit him
heart.
right in the heart.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. San Francisco has declared the NRA a terrorist organization, and it wants other cities to follow suit. Well, city officials say that the NRA spreads, quote, propaganda and arms people who are committing acts of terrorism. But gun rights activists have responded saying it's a charitable organization protecting our constitutional rights. This is a big one, guys. So DBL Nation, you consider the NRA a terrorist organization?
All right, DBL Nation, let's get to your comments. Jane from Facebook says the NRA is like a club for gun owners. It doesn't promote violence or terrorism. Well, a lot of people don't think that they do a good job of condemning it either, Jane, but words matter. And in this case, I'm not going to call them a terrorist organization, because if we do that, we're going to have to call Big Pharma, Big Tobacco, alcohol companies, because they provide the equipment for people to kill themselves and to kill others. So I can't brand them a terrorist organization.
Interesting.
All right, Solo from YouTube, cool name. Solo from YouTube says, hopefully this will have the organization rebrand and advocate for more responsible gun ownership. Solo, you're a very you're a very optimistic person. I don't know if they're going to do that. I think the NRA is what the NRA is, and its members like them like that. I think if they were to try and change or back away from their credo and their mottos, I think people would have a big problem with that. I wouldn't call them a terrorist organization. I think that's the easy way to get into a silly conversation in which we distract from the real issue, and that we need certain kinds of gun control, gun reform, and that's a more nuanced conversation than just calling somebody a terrorist. Pointing fingers at people and calling them terrorists gets nothing accomplished.
Yeah, I agree with you. So you note you wouldn't call it a terrorist group.
No.
Steph, read your comments.
Kim has written in from Facebook, and she says the NRA is not a terrorist group, but Democrats are. I feel like both these comments are very incorrect. But thank you for writing in, Kim, and sharing your views. So I believe if you're saying that the NRA is a terrorist group, that means anyone that believes and follows the Second Amendment also is, and I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think the right to bear firearms is obviously part of your amendment, and it's your right. I don't believe in how the NRA are in the pockets of politicians. I think that's a very separate issue, but are they terrorists? No.
So 1, 2, 3, interesting. Millie from Facebook says, no, it's not, but the militant anti-fascist group Antifa definitely is, and no one is pushing the issue. I totally appreciate you writing in and letting your voice be heard if you feel like you haven't been heard before. And I'm going to take a totally weird stance for me. I definitely think it's a highly dangerous thing to call the NRA a terrorist group. Terrorism is specific. It's about inciting a global climate of fear. That means you have to say the NRA is putting guns into people's hands and telling them to go shoot people. That's how much you have to really say. It's a way overreach. It doesn't do us any good, as you said. And it also is unconstitutional, because that's the government telling a group of citizens, like San Francisco, we don't like your politics, therefore you're terrorists. That is against the First Amendment in every way, shape, or form.
I'm sorry, I just think it's so interesting that she called Antifa, a terrorist group, but not Dylan Roof, but not the mass shooters that we had last week, not the people that committed acts of murder.
White supremacy.
Or the people in Charlottesville. We never call them terrorists.
But do you think domestic terrorism, you haven't heard that phrase, or you haven't heard it enough?
We haven't had it associated with white males. It just is not done. And to this day, if I said name a domestic terrorist, I mean, a lot of people I can still name some of the 9/11 terrorists. Right. That was 18 years ago.
Right.
So how come like Dylan Roof doesn't roll off the tongue?
DBL, write us in and let us know what you think about Al's point. After facing
It's a great point.
It's a great
That's
point.
what they think about it.
All right, we're going to let them speak. Is that right?
I guess.
All right, fine. After facing criticism for flying on a private jet, Meghan Markle, the Sparkle, is flying commercial to support her friend. Raquel, tell us all about it.
Well, Tori, the Duchess of Sussex boarded a commercial flight to New York City today to watch Serena Williams play in the final of the U.S. Open. Meghan's weekend trip is a solo one. Prince Harry and son Archie will stay at home. Now, it's the first time flying after being criticized for taking a private jet with her family, and her husband maintains it was for their safety. Meghan also faced backlash the last time she watched one of Serena's matches, when she asked for no pictures to be taken of her at Wimbledon. Now, no word on what the protocol will be this time. Serena Williams will face Bianca Andreescu tomorrow.
All right, you need to tell us what you think about this.
Okay,
she bent into the pressure?
She's bent into the pressure, and I don't blame her because she's had so much outcry from people all over the globe over the issue, which was a couple of weeks ago. She flew with Prince Harry to Italy on Elton John's private jet, and she faced such backlash. I think she hasn't got a chance. She has to do this right now.
She has to do it.
And I think there's nothing wrong with it. She's going to go visit her friend. Good luck, Serena. You've got
Don't
this.
let me see her in Coach.
Oh, boy.
Better not be in Coach.
Coming up on DBL, we'll introduce you to a bright 13-year-old who's not letting type 1 diabetes stop her from achieving greatness. How her school project actually turned into an invention that can help others like her. It's a great heartthrob. Stay tuned, guys.
Why are drivers...
Freeze! Beauty Blast Police is here for you, honey. Now, this week, y'all, I have to talk to you guys about something that's near and dear to my heart, okay? If you guys remember, I really don't like blue eyeshadow. It's bad. It's bad. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, step away from the blue eyeshadow and nobody gets hurt, honey. Yes, ma'am, I'm Jeray for the Slay, and this week we're talking about using blue eyeshadows way too much. It's an overdone color that actually makes you look bad, my friend, and it's time to throw it to the window. Bye! So, let's get back to the basics. Why don't we use blue eyeshadow? Blues and purple eyeshadows all over your eyes will cause you to look like you are bruised and beaten, honey. It is not a cute look by any means. Now, when you're using a lot more of these blue and purple eyeshadows, it actually reminds the eye, or it reminds how we look at other people in the eye, of more of those sallow colors of bruising, of more sickness, anything like that. It's everything you don't want to look like when you're trying to feel like Beyonce, honey, okay? So instead, you want to lean more towards warmer colors. Look for warm taupes, warm browns, soft reds, soft golds. You can even use hints of blue, but just don't put it all over your eye like you from the Drew Carey show looking like Mimi or whatever, girl. Bring it back a little bit more and use it in subtle ways. So some ways you can still use blue eyeshadow but not look crazy are by popping it slightly under the eye, using it as a transition color. So maybe for a smoky eye, you can take it from black to blue for a very gentle approach. But the last thing, once again, that you want to do is keep that blue all over your eye and run out your house looking like a clown. Because guess what? Everyone's gonna tell you, Jeray for the Slay told me not to wear that blue eyeshadow. Hanny. Now, another way that you can also incorporate some blue into your look, if you're really stuck on using the blue, is maybe just using a blue eyeliner as well. This is a great way to keep a settled eye, use creams, soft browns, maybe even a little black in the end corner.
Back to DBL. Now today's Heart Threads is all about a teenager who invented a health device to help others like her. Watch how she's not letting type 1 diabetes stand in the way of making a difference.
This 13-year-old invented a device that has not only helped her, but also has the potential to help others. Morgan La Rochelle was devastated when she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Her science teacher challenged students to solve a real-world problem. She decided to use the opportunity to address her medical condition, so she created the blood glucose test strip dispenser.
There is a hole on each side of the device, and you put the slider through one of the holes and you push the test strip out, and then you put it right into the glucometer.
Using the device instead of possibly dirty fingers reduces the risk of an inaccurate glucose reading. Morgan even won second place among 8th graders at the National Invention Convention.
Maybe this is my chance to make a difference, because I've been telling my parents since I was like 4. I've always wanted to make a difference.
She won second place for an invention like that? I'll demand a recount. We'll be right back.
Okay, upon first looks, its appearance is appealing. It looks like it could have come out of a very cute European bakery for everyone at home. This looks like something we could definitely buy at a bakery, so that looks good. I'm gonna break it in half to see what this white liquid is. It smells quite sweet. Doesn't smell bad. Okay. Oh, I like that. That's good, actually. It could have, to improve, I actually feel as though there could be more of the white stuff. I feel like it's very, oh, there we go. God heard my cry and answered.
white stuff is where it's at. I'm gonna give this a strong, you know, I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 actually, because I would eat this. This is something I would keep at like work, you know, in my drawer. When I get a bit peckish and I'll fancy a cup of tea, instead of dipping a biscuit in, Brits, you can dip and dunk one of these and your afternoon is complete. So over and out from me and Mr. Twinkie, I'll leave you with this beautiful visual.
Welcome back to DBL. After years and years and years of speculation and fierce debate, we are closer than ever to the truth about the Loch Ness Monster. Now, a new study examining millions of DNA samples from across the water has some surprising results, including a potential answer to the question that has plagued generations. Take a look.
There's an awful lot of eel DNA in Loch Ness. Could there be a giant eel? Well, we know there are mutations that make things much larger than normal.
So it's a giant eel.
It's absolutely not. This is such a lie.
It's a
true.
hoax, Stephanie.
It's true.
Are you a Nessie?
Then go dive in and go find it.
I would happily send me over.
Let her live
All
it.
right. We'll see you guys Monday. You better be here. See
I'll
you
do it.
same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Hi guys, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news. It is Friday, good news there. The bad news is I'm tracking Hurricane Dorian and some sad news obviously coming in about the Bahamas. Yeah, Travis is giving you a look at how slow moving that storm is, but we're getting a lot of news about the Bahamas. I'm talking about that today in the show. Around 30 people are dead, but up to 1,000 people, even thousands, plural, could be missing right now, so it's really sad. I do have a little good news coming out of there. A lot of people are worried about the wild horses on the Outer Banks, if you've ever heard of them. They're kind of famous. People are worried about why they're not being evacuated, and the Wildlife Fund wants to remind you that don't worry. These horses take care of themselves in a hurricane. They've been battling hurricanes for 500 years, they said, which is crazy to think about, or battling storms, I should say. But what they do is they gather in a group, and they stick their little booties up, and they put their, they go down on their front legs, and they keep their booties up all in a row, and because they're like bonded together, they just weather the storm that way. It's such a crazy phenomenon in a way. I guess it's not a phenomenon, but in my opinion it kind of is, because it's just so cool to think about that living animals can just protect themselves that way from a huge storm like this that has killed so many people. So I just wanted to let you know about that. It is a little good news. Unfortunately, I'll be bringing you the bad news coming up in the show, but we do have a lot of other good stories today, so stay with us. Bye.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL, everybody. It's time, Erica Cobb. What day is it, girl?
It's Friday.
Yes! It's Friday, September 6th. I'm here with Erica, Tori, Al. I am Sam. Jeff has the day off. Let's get right to it. Well, we do begin with fierce speculation right now that the president may replace Vice President Mike Pence heading into the 2020 election. There have been reports of mounting tensions behind the scenes, plus new rumors that Ivanka Trump and her husband, Jared Kushner, are pressing Trump to replace Pence with a female running mate. They believe that's the way to win back the suburbs in 2020. And one of the names being floated, Tori, is former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. She recently tweeted out of the blue that she'd never replace Pence on the ticket. Okay, so first of all, that I'm sure is speculation.
Yes.
But many people are speculating. As our DC insider, number one, do you believe that she could replace Pence? And number two, do you even think that this is a thing?
I do think it's a thing. Pence went to Ireland, kind of made a bad stink. They did not accept him very well. He stayed at a Trump hotel. A lot of big problems there. They have not been as close, let's just say. Now, Trump already has the evangelical base, so why do you need Pence, right? What you need is the moms, the soccer moms from the Pennsylvania, the Wisconsin, the Ohio, that Rust Belt. They are the ones that switched from Obama to Trump, which is the biggest switch you could ever make. So to get them back, I think you do need a female. But Nikki Haley is too smart, in my opinion, to put herself along with Trump. I think he'll find someone else.
You're shaking your head, Erica. You agree?
Yeah, I agree. What I think we should really be looking at is the backlash from Pence's base, because there was a base that was loyal to Pence, and Trump just got them as a result.
Yeah.
The idea of being on this ticket and being a part of this administration for 4 years and kind of giving your loyalty only to have that not reciprocated.
Although, what's their option? They're not going to vote Democratic, considering abortion being on the table.
Totally.
There's no way.
I totally understand.
They may abandon him, but they're still going to be forced into voting again.
I totally understand what you're saying. I'm saying that there is a game going on here that's behind the scenes that's going to come to the forefront. And I'm sitting here waiting with my popcorn.
I got my tea too, Erica Cobb. Let me tell you.
Like that Michael Jackson gif, just like eating the popcorn. Ready?
Oh, yes.
This is going to be good.
All right. Well, right now, Hurricane Dorian is making landfall in North Carolina. As we're learning more about the devastating situation in the Bahamas, let's get right to Kelly Schubert with the latest. Kelly.
Sam, right now, the hurricane is hitting North Carolina and thousands of people are without power. Here's a live look at the slow-moving Category 1 hurricane right now, which has sustained winds of around 90 miles an hour. But the big story today, Sam, is in the Bahamas, where we're learning more about the shocking devastation there. Officials say at least 30 people are dead, but they say there are hundreds, maybe thousands still missing right now. And even more disturbing, reports are coming in from the BBC that people are so desperate for food and water, they're trying to shoot each other for supplies. Sam, I'll let you know if I get any new information on this developing story.
It's horrific details, Kelly. I mean, it's details that and I said yesterday on the show, just looking at the imagery, it looked apocalyptic, Al. Hearing the dire straits that people are in, and I can relate as a parent, right? Like, obviously, you never want to see people take things to where you're acting apocalyptically, but you understand it.
Well, they say everybody needs to miss 3 meals before this starts happening.
Yep.
I lived in Miami, and actually it was the hurricane before Katrina, escapes my name. That was the one that really devastated the area that I was in, South Florida, Miami Lakes, North Miami. And within a couple days, the stoplights stopped working. The gas stations stopped working because they're electronic. So gas is literally ticking by the penny. So you have these 6.5-hour lines. People are trying to gas up for their generators, which causes people to try and hold spots in line, which causes people saying, hey, no cuts in line, which causes people to fist fight. People, there's an aggregation of resources, and you very quickly see, I know people are looking at the Bahamas like, oh my God, those people are shooting each other.
No,
I've seen that happen in this country. In the Bahamas, you can take a day trip there from Miami in about 2.5 hours. It's not that far.
No, it's survival instincts. Food and water, gas, those are things that people are going to die for. And when you're a parent or when you're just trying to survive as somebody within their own family, you better believe that you're going to take dire straits. And it's horrific. I really do hope that somehow they get all the help that they deserve. We are hearing from crew members on board the deadly dive boat, which was consumed by fire off the California coast over Labor Day. Of the 39 people on board, only 5 crew members were found alive, including the captain. Here's what the owner of the boat told reporters.
Captain Jerry remained on the boat as long as he possibly could, trying to get those radio calls in. They said they could see Jerry jump from the upper deck, a long jump, and that there was a trail of smoke following him. They thought he was on fire.
The owners of the boat company have reportedly filed a lawsuit to limit the amount of money victims' families can get while investigators continue to search for what caused the fire. Now, we know that the investigation is continuing, Tori, but if they find no negligence, is it the owner of the boat's fault?
No, it's up to the court of that case. That gets into real small details. Now, allegedly, again, not confirmed, cell phone charging within the galley might have caused a spark. Now, I don't know this for sure, but oxygen is aboard dive tanks. So that might have helped. They said it was like a big explosion and the exits were covered by fire, which is incredibly rare. So unfortunately, it seems like this went very fast. If that's the case, there's some wiring issues. They also weren't taught about fire alarms, and they also never had a night watchman on, which they're supposed to. So some major issues here. I hope the victim's family get to see some money.
I know.
This is horrendous. I mean, they should be able to see something.
Yeah. An American Airlines mechanic has been arrested for sabotage. Wait till you hear this story. The man is accused of disabling a navigation system on a flight with 150 people aboard. Before it was scheduled to take off in Miami, according to the complaint, the mechanic was upset over a labor dispute. Thankfully, no one was injured. This is, I would imagine, everybody's worst nightmare. You know, we hear of labor disputes. We hear of people taking out their frustration on their bosses or whoever they deem is responsible for that labor dispute. But when you have 150 innocent people, so is this a madman, or is this terrorism? Considering that this is a flight taking off from Miami.
Right. You know, I feel like that question might be a little above my pay grade. I do know that you can't street justice your way over a contract dispute or a work situation. I think that this is so common that a lot of people would think in their minds like, oh yeah, I've done X, Y, and Z. The difference between your job and his job is that people's lives are actually in jeopardy anytime he decides that he's going to get his revenge out on an aircraft that's carrying innocent lives. So I don't know. I feel like it's bordering on terrorism if it's not actual terrorism.
I don't even think he thought it through that.
Yeah, he wanted just overtime, unfortunately,
I think he just wanted some money. I think he was mad at his boss about not getting enough hours.
Isn't this crazy?
Which is why people do things like this. It's like, let's take it away from the airlines. Let's say I was an usher at a movie theater and I had this hot date and I want to get out of there, but I have to go to this 11 o'clock screening. And I'm like, how about if I just yell fire, get everybody out of here?
Now.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
I'm not trying to scare
Every
people.
single-
I have a selfish agenda.
No
this
way.
guy was just trying to get paid
It's
time
so
and a half.
different. Listen, that's actually inciting more terror, I think, than what this guy did, because he wanted someone to catch this. And what happened was he put foam on super glue and thought a sensor would catch it before anybody took to the runway. Guess what? It was on the runway, and the pilot was doing this, and that's when the sensor went off.
Believe me, I definitely have great empathy when it comes to people fighting for more livable
Yeah, but this is
wages.
crazy.
But this is beyond crazy.
I'm not defending it.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but in my opinion, this to me is somebody that definitely knew what they were doing.
I don't think he ever thought this was going to see the light of day. I thought he thought that they were going to catch this in the hangar, and they'd be like, "Can you stay Saturday?"
That's a big risk.
You think it's the first time he's done this? Like
that
people,
is a big
when you start
risk,
talking about
though.
time and a half, people do a lot of stuff. Sam.
That is a big risk. Big risk. I can't even imagine. Wow. Well, chime in, DBL Nation. We want to hear from you on this one. After years and years of speculation and fierce debate, we are closer than ever. Are you ready to the truth about the Loch Ness Monster? That's right. A new study examining millions of DNA samples from across the water has some surprising results, including a potential answer to the question that has plagued generations. Watch.
There's an awful lot of eel DNA in Loch Ness. Could there be a giant eel? Well, we know there are mutations that make things much larger than normal.
You see, Al? Of course it could be a giant eel. We've had this conversation before. When there's elephants on this planet, when there are big blue whales on this planet,
Tori's right next to you.
Please,
Don't say that.
Oh yeah, Tori has a phobia of big blue whales. Why wouldn't there be a big old eel?
Because, well, first of all. No one's saying that there couldn't be some kind of large sea creature, but when you start throwing the word monster around,
you have poo-pooed
because
me
it's not
talking
true.
about.
It's not. Bigfoot's not true. I'm sorry, Sam. Do you want to do this on or off air?
No, we can do it on air.
This is not a real
We're supposed to talk
thing.
about what everyone else is talking about.
No
We're
one's
supposed to
talking about this except the people that work the gift shops at the Loch Ness Monster.
Listen, Al, you have this connotation in your mind because you're so attached to the title.
To reality, yes, I'm rooted in that.
No. You're so attached to Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot. Strip those names away, and of course, people over time could have seen a big eel in the ocean, and they would have called it a Loch Ness Monster.
What eel looks like that?
What do you mean?
It was a huge head
You don't think it
sticking
could have
out.
been extinct? Al Jackson, dinosaurs once existed.
Yes, and that we still have alligators and crocodiles, which are remnants of dinosaurs.
And we have eels, which are remnants of the Loch Ness
But that was not an eel, that black and white.
Sam,
It's like, you can't just say boom and it's over. Like, how is that a way to end that argument?
I gotta be honest, the boom was very convincing.
It was, it
I'm
worked.
sorry.
I'll be honest, it worked on me.
I don't know. All right, DBL's live coming up. Demi Lovato makes a bold statement on social media with a bikini photo, the empowering message she's sharing with fans. Plus, DBL co-host Stephanie Jones sits down with beauty and fashion expert Bobby Thomas. She gives us the lowdown on all things denim. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. A city group's decision to declare the NRA a domestic terrorist organization has people talking. What do you think? We're going to share your comments about that next.
Hi, DBL Nation. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us here on Daily Blast Live today. Kelly Schubert tracking all the breaking and trending news for you right now. And I'm also tracking Hurricane Dorian. I'll obviously keep you updated if we get any news. We do know there is flooding and power outages in North and South Carolina. We'll continue watching that, of course. And we did hear one of our viewers said the power was out in Virginia where she is, but it is back on, so that's good to hear. Let's go to the desk and see what's going on with our host.
They're not all messing with. I mean,
Hey, host, what's going on up here?
Margot, we want to talk more to you. Margot is not really a doomsday prepper, but she kind of preps and is aware. And she said this: "Hey y'all, come over to my house if blank hits the fan. I got you." So, Margot, I do need to know your address, if you don't mind, and send it to everyone here. Info.
Yeah, our house is one of those houses.
I think that I used to think that was crazy. Now I'm like, I gotta know where that is. I gotta know where Margot's is, because those are some smart people.
It's called modern day survivalists.
That's
And you just prepare.
Is that what they've
for-
said is called modern day survivalists?
Well, that's what I'm calling it. You prepare for things that most people think will never happen.
That's exactly right. And who do we go to when it happens? Right.
And then y'all locked out.
That's right. Because who are we going to? Hey, Erica?
Erica. So Margot, write us in what kind of stuff you do to be a modern day survivalist. Al is really interested in
I was
this.
just talking to Chris about this just now.
Okay. Yeah.
I watch Doomsday Preppers
Oh, I love that
at home, and they give you, have you seen it?
Okay.
They give you a score. So like, it's like out of 100, they take 20. So it'd be like, Erica, your water supply is only enough for 8 months, so we'll give you 16 out of 20 points for that. You have enough canned goods for 7 years, but you don't have enough protein in there, so we'll give you 15. And they like give you like a score out of 100. And the people would be like, okay,
well, I feel like.
I need to, yeah,
No,
it's
I
interesting.
wouldn't score well on certain things.
I don't have water.
I would score better on certain areas than others.
Yes. 0.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. San Francisco has declared the NRA a terrorist organization, and it wants other cities to follow suit. City officials say that the NRA spreads propaganda and arms people who are committing acts of terrorism, but gun rights advocates have responded saying it is a charitable organization protecting our constitutional rights. So DBL Nation, we got to hear from you on this one. Do you consider the NRA a terrorist organization? Take it away, Al.
All right, Sam. Barb from Facebook says, this is nonsense. ISIS is a terrorist group, not the NRA. Just because you don't like them doesn't mean you can just call them terrorists. Barb, I'm going to agree with you in this. I think that pointing at someone and calling them a terrorist is the quickest way to end a conversation before it starts. Calling people terrorists is not going to get anywhere. What we do is we have a difference of ideologies in terms of how guns should be regulated and who should be allowed to have them and what their access should be, and that's a much more nuanced conversation. But calling somebody terrorist, I think, is counterproductive at best.
Dalen from Facebook says, I'm happy with this. Maybe the NRA will now do more to promote responsible gun ownership. Who needs an assault rifle in their home, grocery store, or school? A terrorist. You know, I think that we've gotten so far away from center that, like Al said, we're not capable of having a conversation because we can't sit at the table together. I think it's always dangerous when you want to have a word like terrorism associated and synonymous with any group that hasn't demonstrated what we know in modern day terminology as terrorism. It's kind of your feelings about it, and everyone's feelings should be respected, but that doesn't mean that that has to be made into policy or law.
Interesting. Chad from Facebook says, I would call anyone who is trying to take our Second Amendment rights away terrorists before the NRA. I'm going to be kind of really surprising here. Yeah, I agree with my fellow co-host here. In no way, shape, or form do I agree with anything the NRA is doing. Will I fight every day and challenge the NRA, and I will promote the idea of how much money people are getting? However, do I honestly think that they are a terrorist organization? Absolutely not. And I will protect that right for you to assemble anytime you want. That's saying that the government can tell a group of citizens who they don't like their politics that they are illegal. That's not right. You can't do it to me. You can't do it to them. I'll stand up for your right to do so.
All right. Wow. Thank you, Tori. Thanks for writing in as well. Coming up on DBL, it's a way to honor loved ones who have passed, but some are calling it creepy. How morticians are preserving tattoos and turning them into artwork.
Oh, boy.
And DBL co-host Stephanie Jones talks fashion with style expert Bobby Thomas. They discuss old denim trends that you can still rock today with confidence.
I got a weird cramp. Did you see that? I was like, welcome home. That was so weird. Have y'all ever seen Best in Show?
No.
Oh, it's so good. I do remember when she falls, Catherine O'Hara, the best improviser I've ever met or seen on camera, and she falls and she goes, are you okay? And she goes, I'm fine. She has to go walk the dog and she goes, everything's fine, but one leg is just in that.
I think
It's a great.
That's for his mom?
No, that's Jennifer Coolidge, who's also amazing
love
at that.
her.
But we have a lot of common. We like soup and talking. Margot says, Tori, 1, bug in as long as possible. What does that mean? She's talking about her doomsday prepping. Bug in. Kelly, do you know what that means?
No, but I feel like it's something my dad says.
Oh, her dad is also somewhat of a prepper. Let's be
he's
honest.
not like a doomsday prepper. He's just
just a prepper.
Yeah, he just likes to be. He has canned foods. And
Well, have enough food and water
water
for pets and people for at least 3 months, says she
Wow,
says.
I don't
and
know
then
if my dad's
3,
that prepared.
make friends with neighbors right away and form a militia. Whoa. 4, pre-plan where to meet if the house is gone.
I am not this planned, you guys.
Dude, I
wish
don't
was.
know
Maybe
where
I
I
should
am
be.
now.
I should probably. I mean, what if the apocalypse comes and we're not?
Well, we
ready?
are so not ready.
I kind of told people to just like leave me behind. I mean, it's not worth taking me on with you guys. I don't.
God, guys, let's self-esteem boosting.
If it was a zombie apocalypse, there's no way I'm surviving, you guys.
Wow,
Like, just
way to
leave
have a
me
belief in
behind.
yourself.
From E's fashion police to being the style editor for the Today Show, Bobbi Thomas has helped women of all ages and sizes find their personal style. I got to speak with her about empowering women through fashion and the most classic look of all, denim, in today's Chatting with the Stars. Hello, Bobbi Thomas. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. You are a champion of empowering women to find beauty from the inside out. I want to know, what was that personal journey like for you?
Oh my gosh, I think, where do we start? Do you have a whole hour and a bottle of wine?
Yeah, that sounds a dream.
Unfortunately, as a young girl growing up when I did, girls, we were left to sort of compete for best hair, most popular. So it's been a mission of mine, a very personal one, to find a way to support other women, knowing that putting that into the universe is only something that's gonna boomerang back, hopefully.
Awesome, I love that. Well, you've also teamed up with Lee Jeans to promote a size inclusive line, and we're only now just seeing other brands feature plus sizes, which is crazy to me, seeing as that is the more normal size in America, right?
It's mind-blowing in a way. I think for a long time there was the misperception that women above a certain size wouldn't shop or spend money. It's really exciting that social media today has helped amplify the voice of those out there looking for their size. And what was really great about talking with Lee is that they had launched a technology in Asia last year. It worked with optical illusions to help shade fabric in a unique way that would contour. They wanted to launch it here for under $30.
Seeing as you're the jean queen, we've got a denim dare. So I've got an example of some really odd yet iconic denim trends, right? And I want to know how you would style them into success.
Sure.
Okay, all right, so what about the low-rise jean? I mean, this is a style that we hope doesn't come back, and it's like the scariest of them all.
I think that's a public safety hazard, so I'm just going to air with. I don't really think that that's good for anyone. If you have a short torso, definitely go for the lower rise, but make sure that you can bend over without crack.
Oh, no one wants to see that. Let's be real. It's not a good look for anyone. Okay, what about acid wash?
Acid wash can be fun. You have to think of acid wash as like a print. So if you're gonna make a statement with acid wash and you want it to feel chic, a black turtleneck and a great, belt with gold hardware and a loafer, you're elevating the idea of the trend in a modern way that looks more refined.
Thank you so much for your time today, Bobbi. It was great to talk to you.
Great talking to you too.
And we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
says, yippee, a fashion segment. But Michael Loveland says, I'm so deaf to fashion. All these years, I'm still totally clueless. The good thing is to have Steph in your dressing room so that when you're putting clothes on, you'll be like, Steph, does this look good? And she'll be like, and you know that means no. And then if she's like, oh, that looks, what does she say, Steph? Darling, something. You look smashing. It suits you. That's what she says. That suits you, which is awesome. If you guys want some kind of fashion segment that we haven't seen and is so much more relatable to you of people who don't know fashion, write in. Is it I don't know how to dress comfortably? Did you just snort? That was so loud. Anywho, what kind of fashion segment would you prefer? And do you want a snort segment? We could call it Snorting with Shuby. It would be that was 100% you. It wasn't not you, okay? You know what I'm saying? So which one do you want to see? Fashion, snorting, fashion, snorting. Or fashion and some laughs with snorting. Maybe you go with Steph and laugh. So let us know what kind of things you want to see. Remember, we're interactive here. It's like 3D. I'm gonna go eat my breakfast burrito that I left in the microwave for over 2.5 hours.
Everyone was wondering whose it was, and I was like, duh, it's Tori. She always leaves it there.
Do you want to snort again? Or?
No,
Nailed it.
I'm holding it in.
Welcome back to DBL. After facing criticism for flying on a private jet, Meghan Markle is flying commercial to support her friend. Raquel Villanueva, please share the details.
Well, Sam, the Duchess of Sussex boarded a commercial flight to New York City today to watch Serena Williams play in the final of the U.S. Open. Meghan's weekend trip is a solo one. Prince Harry and son Archie will stay at home. Now, it's the first time flying after being criticized for taking a private jet with her family. Her husband maintains it was for their safety, and Meghan also faced backlash this last time she watched Serena's matches because she was asked to not take any pictures of her at Wimbledon. Now, there's no word on what the protocol will be this time. Serena Williams will face Bianca Andreescu tomorrow.
There you have it.
That's what a sad day.
What is
she bent to the pressure?
I would have. Please, why does she have to act like she's like everybody else? She's not. She lives in a palace.
But Erica brought up a great point last time we talked about this. If she's going to dub herself as like one of the biggest environmentalists out there fighting for against climate change, then she's got to walk the walk.
Well, no, what I said was that anyone who is saying that they're an environmentalist and are really concerned about their carbon footprint, then yes, they do need to walk the walk. But make no mistake about it, Meghan Markle and this entire thing has been a major hit job, and it's super racist undertones.
I completely
and
agree.
60 Minutes in Australia are going to run a thing that's basically just confirming what we've all known the entire time. It's like what my parents used to say, you can't do what everybody else can do because you're held to a different standard for whatever reason.
Ooh, good point. If you're leaving us, please stick around. Here's what's coming up next.
Demi Lovato faces her biggest fear with a bold new bikini photo. The body positive message she has for fans. Then, labor pains. We'll tell you which pregnant celebrity wants her partner to go through a birth simulator and why. Plus, creepy or cool. How some families are preserving their dead loved ones' tattoos and turning them into works of art. When DBL comes back.
Freeze! Beauty Blast Police is here for you, honey. Now, this week, y'all, I have to talk to you guys about something that's near and dear to my heart, okay? If you guys remember, I really don't like blue eyeshadow. It's bad. It's bad. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, step away from the blue eyeshadow and nobody gets hurt, honey. Yes, ma'am, I'm Jeray for the Slay, and this week we're talking about using blue eyeshadows way too much. It's an overdone color that actually makes you look bad, my friend, and it's time to throw it to the window. Bye! So, let's get back to the basics. Why don't we use blue eyeshadow? Blues and purple eyeshadows all over your eyes will cause you to look like you are bruised and beaten, honey. It is not a cute look by any means. Now, when you're using a lot more of these blue and purple eyeshadows, it actually reminds the eye, or it reminds how we look at other people in the eye, of more of those sallow colors of bruising, of more sickness, anything like that. It's everything you don't want to look like when you're trying to feel like Beyonce, honey, okay? So instead, you want to lean more towards warmer colors. Look for warm taupes, warm browns, soft reds, soft golds. You can even use hints of blue, but just don't put it all over your eye like you from the Drew Carey show looking like Mimi or whatever, girl. Bring it back a little bit more and use it in subtle ways. So some ways you can still use blue eyeshadow but not look crazy are by popping it slightly under the eye, using it as a transition color. So maybe for a smoky eye, you can take it from black to blue for a very gentle approach. But the last thing, once again, that you want to do is keep that blue all over your eye and run out your house looking like a clown. Because guess what? Everyone's gonna tell you, Jeray for the Slay told me not to wear that blue eyeshadow. Hanny. Now, another way that you can also incorporate some blue into your look, if you're really stuck on using the blue, is maybe just using a blue eyeliner as well. This is a great way to keep a settled eye, use cream.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like that?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Demi Lovato has a body positive message for her fans. She posted this revealing pic on social media with the caption, "This is my biggest fear," a photo of me in a bikini, unedited. She added that she's done being ashamed of her body. And this isn't the first time that we've seen Demi Lovato speak out about body positivity, show photos of herself unedited, and I really commend her because that's a real woman.
Yeah,
every woman has cellulite.
Yeah, that
every
feels like my
stretch marks.
Right, exactly. And in the meeting, Brandon London, if I can say this, our other co-host looked over, didn't know the story, and just goes, "Man, she is beautiful," without even knowing the story. I got to be honest, a lot of this for me was for women, not just for men. It wasn't just about I look great, but I appreciate seeing a woman do that to another woman, because cellulite, you talk about it maybe, but you really don't see it very often. So very good visual for me.
Yeah, she looks gorgeous.
You know, I feel like I've been saying this a lot because I commend people for coming forward and being empowering and having body positivity and all sorts of positivity. But I want people to be reminded that this is not less than. It never has been less than. It just has been underrepresented.
Yes.
And therefore it was never on the table to even for consideration of even to be shown.
It wasn't even on the menu.
When it's not on the menu, that means that people automatically assume there's shame. Remember, nameless, faceless, zero empathy.
Yep.
So I just want to steer clear of the hierarchy of body image, of aesthetics, of hair, of all of it. Because when it's all on the table, we just have more diversity, which makes it more interesting, not better than.
But thank God we have that diversity now.
Right.
And I think that's so important to make that message clear, Erica. But in the past, there wasn't, as you said, there wasn't any representation.
None. I mean,
so now that it's almost like that's an interesting point that you bring up, because now that we are starting to see more representation on the table, how are we going to, make sure that what you said isn't lineated or even delineated into different categories, because I think that was the problem with the plus size actress recently.
Right.
But then she automatically got pigeonholed into saying that she didn't want to embrace body positivity when her message wasn't about that. It was just, I don't want to have to make this a hierarchy. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
So I think this is going to be our new battle.
Well, it's not a battle.
Yeah.
I don't want to think of it that way. I want to think of it in terms of, it's almost like, for me, the way that I really feel it is being a dark-skinned black woman and wearing natural hair. When people approach conversations with me, it always starts with this like caveat, or there's something like, there's going to be something like a pause, like, well, I know because you're a dark-skinned black woman or because you're wearing natural hair. It's like, you can talk to me the same way that you talk to Tori.
Right.
Just the fact that Tori's been represented for longer than I've been represented, yes, I do think that that is a problem, and that's the reason why I'm sitting here the way I'm sitting here today. However, I don't want people to get confused that the lack of representation meant less than, because it never meant less than. It just meant that we weren't able to see it.
Confused.
Yeah.
What I'm considering the backlash that happened to that plus size actress / model. Yeah. I think people have gotten confused.
It's interesting.
So it's important
Can I ask a weird man question? Do you think that the market will decide if, when you look at somebody like Ashley Graham that's got a couple million followers, and people plus size, I don't even know what the proper term is, but they're popular. Popular means popular across the board. Almost like pop music. A lot of people clearly like this. So now that they've been exposed with things like Instagram and things where they have their own, they're not held back by a boardroom that says you need to be a size 0. Do you think that the market has almost decided for them? Because there's clearly a lot of people that's like, I like that body
shape. Think about Lizzo on the cover right now.
I think the market has clearly decided for them. I really do. There are going to be a select few companies that are going to want to embrace that change and be on the forefront. I think some of them do it for sincere reasons, and I think others do it because they're following suit. That's my opinion.
Cool.
More family drama for Britney Spears. Her father, Jamie, doesn't want to be her conservator anymore for her health, or for his health reasons, rather, at least not for now. He's been accused of abusing Britney's 13-year-old son. Her ex-husband, Kevin Federline, or mom, Lynn, might try to snag Jamie's spot, but he is recommending Britney's care manager. So he has recommended Britney's care manager, Mrs. Montgomery, and apparently Miss Montgomery wants to be her new care manager, but we don't know what Britney wants. So
but we do know
this is temporary. The one with Jamie is temporary.
I do know, and this is speaking just from someone who has gone through mental health, she does probably need someone there. It's helpful. It's a lot of money. Like, we're talking a lot of money here. If it were me, I'd want someone to help me look over it. She on Instagram continues to just do these crazy workout videos amongst all of this. She has yet to make a statement. I think it's great that they have someone supporting her. He might not be the great one, but don't let it go to no one. That's what I worry about.
Yeah, well,
she's not ready, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a doctor, but from what I see, it's going to help her.
Yeah,
I hope.
I really hope that we can see Britney back to her old self. She still is yet to feel that way to me. That's just me being honest as a fan. A trailer ripped straight from the headlines is out now. Raquel Villanueva has the details. Ooh, what is this new trailer, Raquel?
Sam, Lifetime just released our first look at the college admission scandal movie. While the film isn't directly about Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman, you can definitely see the similarities.
Money laundering? That is real time.
You knew the consequences.
Fake SATs, fake sports for months and months without you happening to notice.
Am I gonna be arrested too?
The
college admission scandal.
All right, the college admission scandal premieres October 12th.
Raquel goes, all right.
I'm sorry, it's Lifetime. You know what you're getting with a Lifetime movie.
That's true.
I am so into this. I'm going to eat up every morsel. Every little bit. This isn't airing on ABC. This isn't airing on 2020.
You're right.
This is airing on Lifetime.
Right.
You gotta know.
We know their demo. They know their demo.
Yeah.
It's
me. I can't wait. All right, guys, listen up. Don't tell pregnant women how to handle childbirth. Pretty Little Liars actress Shay Mitchell is documenting her pregnancy journey on YouTube, but she doesn't quite see eye to eye with her boyfriend. Watch.
You say no epidural, I say epidural.
Am I partial to no epidural? Yes. Why? Because I'm a hypochondriac. I'm afraid of drugs. My mom didn't use an epidural. Lizzie didn't. I meet women all the time who didn't choose to use epidural.
Would you get a root canal without
You
any
love
drugs?
that analogy.
But it's true.
Now Shay wants him to try a birth simulator. You know, the ones that mimic the pain of labor so men can understand what women go through.
I just want to tell every dude, just don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. I know what you're trying to get to. Just don't.
I think you have every right to have that conversation with your partner. I do. You can't be the ultimate decision maker because it is her body. And as someone that did experience childbirth unmedicated, it is horrifically painful. Horrifically.
Oh,
My next time around, I will be drugged up.
Yes, good
Give
for
me
you.
all the drugs. But listen, he has every right to say, because an epidural does come with complications.
Yeah, he's
it
half
comes
of that
with
baby.
benefits,
Yeah, I
and it
understand
comes
that.
with complications,
Right.
not only to the child, but to the mother.
Sure.
So he's looking at the mother, and I think it's okay to have the conversation saying, do you know the complications involved?
Right, let's
do you know what
research.
this could, how this could impact you? But then at the end of the day, she's the one giving birth to that baby, not you.
Yeah, like I argued today a bit that the other side would see it as like he's half that DNA. He gets a right to say something, right? But I do think at the end of the day, there's no way can you, if you're male,
Erica's so
stay
patient
out
right now.
of it.
I just find it, I feel that you're absolutely right. The half that baby is his, but he wasn't talking about her. He was talking about himself.
I know,
He
that's
said,
what
I'm a
hurt.
hypochondriac.
And my mom
I'm
had
scared of
me.
needles.
Yeah.
I'm this, I'm that, as if he was pregnant.
But then again, if
That's
he's
right.
a hypochondriac, he's going to place that on his girlfriend,
stress.
thinking, what if something happens to you?
But the hypochondriac generally is about you, which is what he was saying. It was about him.
I think his concern for his girlfriend and for the child is totally just. I think you can have those conversations, but at the end of the day, you got to back off and understand that she's the one that's going to squeeze
She's in control.
a watermelon out of a pear.
Oh boy.
That was
Sorry,
straight
it's
from
true.
the produce aisle to DBL. No,
Yes,
I wonder.
Father.
I don't want to.
Yes.
The epidural. I would completely leave that up to the mom. Do you think the dad has a say when you say if the woman was like, I want to have the baby at home?
Heck yeah.
Because I would have an issue with
yes.
that. I don't.
I told Chris I wanted to have a
wouldn't.
water birth if I ever had it at home. And he's like, well, that's cool, but that's never going to happen.
Do you think like the man has a say
I think
in
it's
that?
important, yes, but I think it's important to do your research because, to be honest with you, I looked at hospital births, I looked at water births,
Right.
and if you're with a midwife that's trained to do a hospital birth, there's so much there's a lot of misconceptions out there. Even though I gave birth in a hospital, I do know that there are a lot of misconceptions. Cedar-Sinai, Cedar Baby. I do know that there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to water births too. So, meaning they're very safe, especially if you're with a midwife. So I think it's important to do the research, then have the conversation with your partner, and then you guys come up with a compromise because it is your child too.
All right, I just don't want my child born in anything I just got from Amazon. I don't want a kiddie pool in the house.
Yeah.
Well, let's use all this technology we've accumulated.
You guys could have met in the middle and went to a birthing center, which you could have had a water birth at a birthing center.
You know what else is a birthing center? A hospital. You can have babies all. They know what they're doing in there.
Your rate of having intervention goes up when you're in a hospital. Meaning like C-sections and unwanted C-sections and mortality. So you got to do the research. I'm telling you, like a lot of women decide to do the birthing centers and home births because they're trying to diminish that increased risk of unwanted intervention.
All right.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah.
All right, headed to Target after this.
Here is an amazing story of survival coming right out of Colorado. A mountain lion attacked an 8-year-old boy, essentially biting the boy's head. 2 weeks later, he bravely recounted the altercation. Watch.
Punching, trying to grab anything that I can, like a stick, and I did find a stick and I tried to get it in the eye, but soon the stick snapped. The mountain lion is a cheetah. No one tried to wrestle a mountain lion. It is a cheetah.
Oh, that poor baby.
He is.
You guys are feeling sorry. That kid is tough.
He should be the next superhero.
You're right.
There should be comic books made after this kid.
Yeah, you're right.
Are you serious right now? And look how that shows you the resiliency of children.
What a great way to put that.
Listen to how he's talking. Even the way his cadence, he's so optimistic and
he's fine.
upbeat. That is amazing. That kid has been here before.
Right. He fought off a mountain lion at 8.
And look at how resilient he is.
I would have quit. I'd be like, hey, you got it, bro.
Yeah, I call it. I'm out.
What side do you want? Yeah, I'm not fighting.
Wow. Yeah, kudos to him.
Yeah, wow.
Superhero indeed. Coming up.
By the way, I want to see a company get him a really custom-made iPad.
Yes!
It's really cool.
Yes, put it out there, Al. I love it. Coming up on DBL, a teenager sets out to help others while dealing with her own health battle. We'll tell you about the invention she came up with that is making a big difference, plus honoring loved ones who have died by preserving their tattoos, the procedure that some are calling creepy. Next. Okay, some of these comments I can't read. Brandon, do you mind if I just get a bottle of water?
Yeah, I think it was so interesting,
Thank you.
Listening to that kid. Erica, I never thought about it like that when she's just talking about how resilient kids are. Because I'd seen the way seen his interview and just like, some kids are just tough. And it didn't seem like, A, he was that thrown off by fighting a mountain lion, and B, he was more just disappointed it didn't fight fair.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid is like, you say what you want, but there's just like some people that grow up in a way that just makes them tough people.
Yeah.
You know, that kid was tough, man. So, yeah, I thought, what a cool kid, and it's just like, I kind of think about, there's a surfer that lost their arm to the shark. And,
remember that girl, that young girl?
But it's just
she was so unbelievably inspiring, that young girl.
And I wonder if that kid's going to be the same way. It's just kind of like I think
it's true. I don't think you would see. Erica was talking about the resiliency of a child. I don't think we would have seen an adult react that way.
No.
I don't think. I know I wouldn't have reacted that way. I mean, there was no self-loathing at all. At all.
And Al's right, like that was his big takeaway. Like he just wanted a fair fight and that mountain lion wouldn't give it to him. Like that's legit what he was so upset about. Like that is crazy. That's beautiful.
What did he say at the end about the cheetah?
Don't fight a mountain lion, they're cheaters. They're
cheaters.
Yeah.
It's cute. He's amazing.
30.
Welcome back to DBL. There is a new way of remembering loved ones after they die. Tattooed skin preservation. A warning before we show you these pictures. Some may find them disturbing. Tattoos on people that pass away can now live on thanks to one Ohio mortician.
Cleveland.
His business is called Save My Ink Forever. And like the name suggests, friends or family keep their late loved one's ink as framed artwork. The owner defends his trade against critics by saying he's helping families fulfill their last wish. Now, Erica, your family comes from a mortuary, right?
Well, my dad's a funeral director.
Funeral director.
Yes, a funeral.
But this is aligns with that. Have you ever heard of something like this? Or is this new to
I
you?
haven't, and I was going to call my dad, but every time I call my dad on a story like this, he has the same party line, that funerals are about respecting the life of the departed and honoring the families, and he doesn't appreciate things that aren't traditional in that respect because he believes that it takes away from the honor of the burial. I do appreciate that some people, this might be straight up their alley and something that makes them feel comforted. And I'm glad that there's an option for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to stay out of America, zoom out, the whole world grieves in very different ways, right? There's dancing in some cultures. You have a big band in New Orleans. Some people get very quiet, right? My family in Judaism, you rip your shirt and cover the mirrors with black tarp.
Oh, this doesn't bother me at all.
Right, I have no issue with this.
This doesn't bother me at all.
Like it.
I think it's kind of cool.
Really?
My husband has our wedding song on his forearm, and I would not be opposed to this.
Hanging in your house? How about if you just play the song? Not gross everybody else.
I think ideally maybe a photo of him and I could see that tattoo. Ideally that would be the best in a frame, but it's not a far stretch for me to say that's not the worst thing in the world.
All right, you love your man.
Okay. The fountain of youth may not be a fountain after all, but instead a pill. The results from a new clinical study are out. Over a year, 9 men took a certain drug regime, and at the end of the clinical trial, the men appeared to age in reverse by 1.5 years, to be exact.
What?
That's big, yes. Now, before you start making plans to live forever, we should clarify that these results are limited because there was no placebo. But DBL Nation, we want to hear from you. Would you take an anti-aging pill? Okay, Erica, you can't chime in on this.
You are aging.
You are aging in reverse. Don't you?
Hallelujah. I agree.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll pay you later. But this is the problem with it. There's too many variables in this equation. So I just watched this movie. I think it's called Mothers, and Angela Bassett's in it. And she says to the other two mothers, like, well, you know, we should just age gracefully. And I'm like, you're Angela Bassett. You can't tell people that you should just age gracefully. I think that we're kind of ignoring things like genetics and other predispositions that would probably influence this. So I'm not so sure if this is really.
It might be a Benjamin Button pill, and if it is, I'm interested, but not yet. It's been a year.
You want to see their side effects.
Yeah, let me get kind of old before I see.
And I want to know how much. Like, does it only lift the face? Does it lift other body parts? Like, I think about Death Becomes.
We have pills for that.
No, Death Becomes. Remember when Meryl Streep went from? I think we have a before and after of Meryl Streep. Like, not only her face got lifted, everything got lifted.
I know what you mean. They're saying.
Yeah, but you can do this with. Just get some money. You don't need it.
Cosmetic surgery.
You're whatever age you want to be if you have $10 million.
Done. That's
I think a pill's better than cosmetic surgery, but of course we need to find out about the effects. Yes, the long-term effects. 42% of you say yes, I want to be young. 58% of you say no way. All right, we'll be right back.
Interesting.
Okay, upon first looks, its appearance is appealing. It looks like it could have come out of a very cute European bakery for everyone at home. This looks like something we could definitely buy at a bakery, so that looks good. I'm gonna break it in half to see what this white liquid is. It smells quite sweet. Doesn't smell bad. Okay. Oh, I like that. That's good, actually. To improve, I actually feel as though there could be more of the white stuff. I feel like it's very, oh, there we go. God heard my cry and answered. The white stuff is where it's at. I'm gonna give this a strong, you know, I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 actually, because I would eat this. This is something I would keep at like work, you know, in my drawer. When I get a bit peckish, and I'll fancy a cup of tea, instead of dipping a biscuit in, Brits, you can dip and dunk one of these and your afternoon is complete. So over and out from me and Mr. Twinkie, I'll leave you with this beautiful visual.
Welcome back to DBL. Now today's Hard Threads is all about a teenager who invented a health device to help others like her. Watch how she's not letting type 1 diabetes stand in the way of making a difference. This 13-year-old invented a device that has not only helped her, but also has the potential to help others. Morgan La Rochelle was devastated when she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Her science teacher challenged students to solve a real-world problem. She decided to use the opportunity to address her medical condition, so she created the blood glucose test strip dispenser.
There is a hole on each side of the device, and you put the slider through one of the holes, and you push the test strip out, and then you put it right into the glucometer.
Using the device instead of possibly dirty fingers reduces the risk of an inaccurate glucose reading. Morgan even won second place among 8th graders at the National Invention Convention.
Maybe this is my chance to make a difference, because I've been telling my parents since I was like 4. I've always wanted to make a difference.
She won second place for an invention like that? I would demand a recount. We'll be right back.
A White Claw? Are we on? Or is this live? Is it just me reading my phone talking to Kelly? This is very behind the scenes right now. She just sent an article, and I'll be completely honest.
Very important breaking news.
White Claws, and we've heard us talk about this before, are running out?
Yes, there's a shortage of White Claw hard seltzer. If you've never heard of White Claw, it's just a hard seltzer. I mean, basically they're different flavors. A lot of men are drinking them now even. Like people make fun of sorority girls and say all they're drinking is White Claws, but men on the golf course, they've kind of ditched the beers and are drinking White Claws because they...
Rob, do you drink White Claws?
I don't.
He said he's never had one, which is interesting. Let's ask Stu. Stu, have you ever had a White Claw?
He definitely has had White Claw.
100%.
No, I have not.
What?
Never had a White
No,
Claw?
definitely not. Why would I ever drink that?
Mike, have you ever had a White Claw?
It's terrible. It's like,
Mike, have
it's
you ever had a
terrible.
White Claw?
Adam,
Like,
Adam,
it's,
have you ever had a White Claw?
How do you know it's
Yeah,
terrible?
see, Adam says they're
because I
good.
know what sparkling water tastes like.
They're
They're not great, but they don't make your tum-tum hurt.
No.
Okay, I guess like this is a hard divided issue.
This is a very
Men
hard divided issue.
do not seem to like White Claw. Women
Well, these
love
men.
it.
Because let me just okay. If you
A lot of men who golf are loving White
here's
Claw.
my thing. It's great. Do whatever you want to do. But when you actually look at like the ingredients and like what's in it, it's almost exactly the same as beer, calorie-wise.
Yeah, but
everything
beer
like
makes your tum-tum hurt. And makes
Have you ever had a White Claw?
No, not me. I don't drink beer.
What's the controversy? I want to know.
White Claw.
They're running
You know
out of
White Claws, the seltzer, the hard seltzer?
Yes.
Yeah, men drink them.
He knows everything about this.
But they're out of them now. So
Yeah,
Stu drank
good.
them all,
It's
everyone,
time to move
so
along.
we're sorry about that.
I'm sure there's Trulies or the other one.
There are. I don't like the Trulies.
There's like 73 companies doing this.
There are. There
There's
are so many
There was a
companies.
craft hard seltzer or seltzery,
There's a festival here,
and
too.
it's terrible.
Yeah, I
tastes
heard it was
like
awful.
soap. That's why I'm like, I don't need it. I like
They
beer,
opened like a
I like
seltzery
whiskey.
instead of a brewery.
Don't need
I heard
it.
it was really good. Anyway, I don't love it, but I would much rather that than beer.
Same. I want to do a roll count. Just say I if you've had a White Claw in the group chats, just so we can take count. I see ya.
Welcome back to DBL. You have to see this video and pay close attention to the left side of the screen.
Oh no.
A man riding a roller coaster in Spain manages to catch another passenger's cell phone mid-air. He says before the ride started, he saw the other guy drop his phone inside the car and he prepared himself to see it once the ride started, and it actually happened.
Dude.
That is so rad. How in debt to that person would you be?
Well, he also protected the face of his fellow passenger.
That would have broke your nose.
Yeah, the
remember
speed of it.
Fabio
with the goose.
Fabio with the goose.
I always
remember
bring it up.
Fabio with the goose.
Hit in the face, broke that nose.
Remember it? We'll tell you. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
DBL Nation, Kelly Schubert here, the DBL digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending stories for you right now, and it's Friday, so we're all happy around here. The one thing we are not happy about is Hurricane Dorian. There's a lot of sad news coming in from that, and we'll continue to track that for you. But right now, I want to tell you about our podcast. We actually do a podcast here. It's a Big Brother podcast. I do it every week with Jeff Schroeder. We kind of break down all the drama that's happening in the house, and it is called In the House with Jeff Schroeder and Kelly Schubert. Jeff is actually on a vacation because it's Leighton's birthday, so happy birthday to Leighton. It's his first birthday, so that's really exciting. But I did it with Alex, one of our digital producers this week, and he's actually never, ever watched an episode of Big Brother. Alex, can you wave? So Alex watched Big Brother for the first time last night, and of course it was a double eviction, so it was a crazy episode. So check out our podcast. Again, it's called In the House with Kelly Schubert and Jeff Schroeder. There's Alex. Again, our podcast is on TuneIn, Twitcher. No, it's Stitcher. It's Stitcher. Dang it. One day I'll get that right, you guys. iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. Check it out, guys. Bye.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. Erica Cobb, do us the honor. What's today?
It's Friday.
Yes. Needed that. It is Friday, September 6th. I'm here with Erica, Tori, Al. I am Sam. Jeff has the day off. Let's get right to it. Well, we do begin with fierce speculation right now that the president may replace Vice President Mike Pence heading into the 2020 election. There have been reports of mounting tensions behind the scenes, plus new rumors that Ivanka Trump and her husband, Jared Kushner, are pressing Trump to replace Pence with a female running mate. They believe that's the way to win back the suburbs in 2020. One of the names being floated is former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. She recently tweeted out of the blue that she'd never replace Pence on the ticket. Clearly, this is all speculation.
Right.
But Tori, first of all, is it precedented? Like
you want to know the last time?
Yeah.
One of the last times. Abraham Lincoln used Andrew Johnson, which is from the opposite side.
That's the last time?
Yeah, it is much more preferred to have the same ticket. Now, McCain was someone that Biden looked at to maybe be a running mate before he passed away, because they are best friends and on opposite sides of the aisle.
That
You can do it.
Wonderful.
Right.
Wow.
However, here's my prediction, Tory's prediction. Pence leaves because Trump definitely already has the evangelical base. He needs the Pennsylvania moms, the soccer moms. Those are the ones who went from blue to red. And I think he might not get Nikki Haley. So remember, she's from South Carolina. She ran as governor. She was excellent. She ran as UN ambassador. She's hit Trump a couple times saying, I don't think this is right. I think she's eyeing for 2024 and doesn't want to be branded Trump, like a Trumper. I really think she will not do it.
And Erica, you're shaking your head to that. You agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. But I do find it interesting because there's a similar plot line happening on Bravo right now with the Real Housewives. There is a feeling, especially when you have been loyal to someone and then you bring someone in and you're so easily replaced.
That's right.
A lot of turmoil and drama comes out of that. So I am going to be watching with my popcorn and red wine because this is something that we all need to see.
I'm coming over.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
is this like the Housewives of D.C.? It's back?
100% that.
It's back.
It's back, and you're going to hear rumors all year.
All right. Okay. Right now, Hurricane Dorian is making landfall in North Carolina as we are learning more about the devastating situation in the Bahamas. Let's get right to Kelly Schubert with the latest. Kelly.
Sam, right now the hurricane is hitting North Carolina and thousands of people are without power. Now here's a live look at the slow-moving Category 1 hurricane right now, which has sustained winds of around 90 miles an hour. But the big story today is in the Bahamas, where we're learning more about the shocking devastation there. Now officials say at least 30 people are dead, but they say there are hundreds, maybe even thousands still missing right now. And even more disturbing, reports are coming in from the BBC that people are so desperate for food and water, they're trying to shoot each other for supplies. Sam, I'll let you know if I get any new information on this developing story.
Oh, that's horrific details, Kelly. But you know what? I don't want to make sense of something that you see as senseless, but it makes sense to me.
I think it makes perfect sense.
It does.
We all have a survival instinct inside of us. And
especially when you have
the fact that we have on nice clothes and we're in air conditioning, that's all great. But once those things start to go away, once there's a sense of lawlessness in the street, once there's a sense of I can't pick the phone up and call the police, I can't get in touch with my husband or wife because my cell phone coverage is down. There's some weird guys in front of our house. All this stuff, all these pleasantries that we exchange all day, I've seen those go away in about 24 hours as I've been through a couple of hurricanes in South Florida. So I can see this, and I know people look at the Bahamas like, oh, it's those people. The Bahamas is a 90-minute boat trip from the United States shore. We saw this in New Orleans. Believe me, once there's a scarcity of supplies, people's real instincts, real human beings come out, and I've seen it firsthand.
You know, Al, I'm going to say something that's not going to be popular at this table.
Talk to me.
A lot of people are defending their guns for this very reason.
And you know what, Erica? I was thinking about doomsday preppers when they were showing that footage, and I laugh at them, but I'm like, if I had a basement full of baby food right now, I'd be good.
You said something earlier. It takes 3 meals. That's
three missed
not
meals.
A lot.
It's a day and a half.
Yeah.
It's a day and a half. Once the grocery stores are empty, no lights, no cops. Now what's up?
We're basic animals. That's who we are. We'll
survival
survive.
instinct.
Exactly.
I know. Wow. Well, we really do hope and pray that everybody there gets the help that they deserve, and it's a very scary situation. We'll keep you updated. We are hearing from crew members on board the deadly dive boat, which was consumed by fire off the coast, California coast over Labor Day. Of the 39 people on board, only 5 crew members were found alive, including the captain. Here's what the owner of the boat told reporters.
Captain Jerry remained on the boat as long as he possibly could, trying to get those radio calls in. They said that they could see Jerry jump from the upper deck, a long jump, and that there was a trail of smoke following him. They thought he was on fire.
The owners of the boat company have reportedly filed a lawsuit to limit the amount of money victims' families can get, while investigators continue to search for what caused the fire. So, Tori, you are our legal eagle. If they find no negligence, should this owner or the owners of the boat have to pay the families?
According to the law, no. And that's going to be very hard to find because reports are coming out. And again, speculation, no confirmation. It was the cell phone in the galley charging that might have sparked something. Now, remember, you're on a dive boat. That's oxygen, oxygen, oxygen. We don't know, but it might have exploded because they said it was a boom and both exits were blocked completely off by fire. If that's the case, Heck yeah, there is wiring issues, there's negligence. Now, they also didn't let them know about if a fire occurs, nor was there a night watchman. So you'll see lawyers trying to say that is negligence. So we'll see, it's up to the judge or jury, but man, what a nightmare.
I know, terrible. Well, an American Airlines mechanic has been arrested for sabotage. The man is accused of disabling a navigation system on a flight with 150 people aboard before it was scheduled to take off in Miami. According to the complaint, the mechanic was upset over a labor dispute. Thankfully, no one was injured. And now people, Erica, especially our own DBL Nation, everybody has something to say, calling him a madman, others saying that he should be charged with terrorism. What do you think?
I don't know what he should be charged with, but I do get the feeling he's going to be made an example out of.
Yeah.
He's not working at a place he's not working at a place that lives wouldn't be endangered.
Right.
So just even making that move, he had to have considered what is the worst possibility.
Yes.
And if he considered what's the worst possibility based on my actions, that 150 people could lose their lives that day, and he still continued to do those actions, it's the short game versus the long game, and I think that he's going to be made an example.
I could see that. You know, and when you start throwing around the word terrorist, I think that that's to promote an ideology through fear.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't do this, if you don't bend to our rules, our laws, we're going to start bombing places where you go. We're killing people randomly.
Correct.
Just to let you know we're not messing around. I think this was just a selfish human being who wanted more money, did not think about, I think this is, I always see, what do you always say? When you get caught for something, it's like the 100th time you've done it. You usually don't get caught driving drunk the first time you do it. I think this is a tactic that this guy used to get extra money, no different than a mechanic might do to say, hey, and loosen a couple bolts. This needs to be fixed for $500. I think that's what people that live in a world
but he should,
that
as Erica said, he should have considered the worst possibility.
And it almost was there, Sam. The engine was on.
I
they
know.
were on the runway, and the pilot was doing this.
150 people.
He said he thought it would be caught way before. So the worst
or
thing
is he
that could
just
happen,
saying that now to backpedal?
Right. But the worst thing that could happen almost happened.
You know, as a mechanic, what that type of negligence can cause.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Super glue with foam.
So
that's not okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy to know that it was thwarted and that everybody on that flight are okay. After years and years of speculation and fierce debate, we are closer than ever to the truth about the Loch Ness Monster. A new study examining millions of DNA samples from across the water has some surprising results, including a potential answer to the question that has plagued generations. Watch.
There's an awful lot of eel DNA in Loch Ness. Could there be a giant eel? Well, we know there are mutations that make things much larger than normal.
There you have it. It's a giant eel.
Yeah, so can we put this to bed? This is not a thing?
Oh, wait, whoa.
Not a thing.
Well, get rid of the whole weird term Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, no worry. I did that.
I think the term monster is throwing you off. If it ends up being a large eel, then people can feel like that there was proof that they believe that there is this large...
No, I think people already knew that there were large eels. Like, they don't make T-shirts for that.
Also, did you hear him?
There's no monster, and that's what gets people to Loch Ness. And once they don't have that anymore, what are they going to be selling?
True.
Fish and chips? There's nothing there, so they need to keep this going. And it's worked, so good for them. But like, there's no monster thing.
And the photo was
no Bigfoot.
First of all, I know there's no Bigfoot. I know there's no Loch Ness Monster as you define it. Okay.
What? I define it as it not being a thing.
I think you got caught up on Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, but
I'm always getting bogged down in facts. Yeah, really slows me down in this life.
A large eel could have been what everybody attributed to the Loch Ness Monster.
They don't come out of the water like that.
And that photo was proven, by the way,
but it could have been a descendant.
Right.
I'm not referring to the photo.
So then what are you referring to? The fact that they're eels?
No, but people believe that they have seen, it could be a descendant of the eel, just like...
Who are these people, Sam?
What do you mean? There's been a lot of people that claim that they've seen a monster-like figure, which is could be an eel-like figure. That looks like a monster. And if let's say the eel came up just to peek.
That looked like a fish.
Let's say the eel came up to peek, maybe.
No, I don't think they do. I don't think eels peek at all. I don't think that's their jam. But, okay.
No, I agree with you. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I appreciate it.
I really am.
Do you believe in anything?
Time. Do I believe in anything?
Like any kind of conspiracy thing.
Well, I know some people would like to say that aliens is a conspiracy. I do believe that there's life on a different planet. I do believe it.
All right.
Yeah. And I believe that there's a large eel out there.
Who peeks? Who peeks?
Way to step out there, Sam.
Erica, do you believe in something controversial or conspiracy?
Erica, do you believe in psychics? Like somebody that can read your palm and like act?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you
Yes, I do. I think that
do you
people
believe there are human
tune
beings with
into different-
superpowers?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
And I think the JFK assassination was fishy. Going back to eels. I'm just saying that's something I believe is fishy.
You just equated JFK and going back to eels?
Do you believe in
The fishy
aliens?
part.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, but to the point where, I mean, there's got to be, but we don't have any proof.
Great answer.
You sound like some of the Loch Ness Monster people out there.
Well, what do you want me to do? This is an Independence Day. They're not hovering over the city, I guess. Oh, no.
DBL is live. Coming up, Demi Lovato makes a bold statement on social media with a bikini photo, the empowering message she's sharing with fans. Plus, DBL co-host Stephanie Jones sits down with beauty and fashion expert Bobby Thomas. She gives us the lowdown on all things denim. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. A Citigroup's decision to declare the NRA a domestic terrorist organization has people talking. What do you think? We'll share your comments next.
Hey there, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital Team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news for you right now, including Hurricane Dorian. I'll keep you updated if I get any news in on that. But I do know that we are getting information of catastrophic flooding there in North Carolina, so I'll be keeping you updated on that info. But for now, let's go to the desk and see what's going on with our host. Erica, what's happening up here? Ow, what's going on? What are you giggling about over there?
We're actually looking at Jeff Schroeder's post because it's Leighton's first birthday.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Today's Leighton's first birthday?
Yeah, and the photographer is.
Are you dying?
That is amazing.
Isn't that cool?
DBL Nation, go to Jeff's Instagram and check out the photo that we're talking about. It is something else. Graphic warning.
I saw it this morning, like on my phone. Yeah. It's
He looks like a gondola rider being totally surprised if you see it. Whoa!
such a weird day.
It's such a weird
so weird going to the hospital knowing that you're leaving with a person.
I can't even imagine.
It's very strange.
I can't. I mean, to me, when I got Josie, I was like, well, I'm going to have you for the next 20 years. Put her in my little car. It was like, bye.
That is
It's weird.
so
It's like,
good.
now you and I are together forever.
Yeah, it's like this
weird.
thing that, I'm going to clean up your poop for
Yeah,
the next 20
I'm
years.
gonna
Like,
be-
and I mean, you have the same agreement with your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple years.
Yeah,
well,
but that-
not 20 years, but.
That's baby's way scarier.
Yeah, baby.
That
Yeah.
scares me.
It's terrifying because you don't know what you're doing.
My sister
Where
is
did it
about
go?
8 months
Hold on,
pregnant, so
let me find
she
it.
can have her
Oh.
baby anytime now.
And I've
She
seen a
asked me-
picture of your sister. Does she
Yeah.
look like you?
No, we don't look
No?
anything alike. You met her a couple weeks ago. We had the same mannerisms.
You do
though.
kind of look alike.
Yes, you do.
I think they look alike. I think they look alike.
Anyway, she's telling me all the stuff about the birth and everything that's going to happen because I'm going to be in the room with her. So I know she asked me to be in the room with her. I know. So
good.
I told you guys I think I could be a doula.
Where's she having the baby?
Rose.
No,
Yep.
where?
What do you mean where?
Oh, it's called Rose Medical
Here.
Center.
Yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
I
okay.
like Rose.
I thought that's
Sorry,
not the
here.
baby's name.
I was like, is that the name? Yeah.
I was like Rose.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host. When we, hey there, Bert, when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, he's trying to hide. San Francisco has declared, not really.
I think he's settling in. Let it happen.
Bravo! Okay. All right. And we are live. We call things out on this show.
I like how he waved Sam off like
I
she's
know.
doing something
I'm
wrong.
live. I'm going to address exactly what's happening on this show. That's what this show's all about.
Love it, Sam.
We call it out.
I love
All right,
this
let's get right to Fifth Host. San Francisco has declared the NRA a terrorist organization, and it wants other cities to follow suit. City officials say that the NRA spreads propaganda and arms people who are committing acts of terrorism. Now, gun rights advocates have responded, saying it is a charitable organization
I think that guy needed a
protecting
smaller gun.
our constitutional right. So, DBL Nation, do you consider the NRA a terrorist organization? You guys are weighing in fast. Get to it, Al.
All right, Janine is very demanding, Sam.
I know we're on a time constraint.
All right. Janine from Facebook says the NRA is only interested in helping gun companies to have a revenue stream. They could care less about Americans being killed by other Americans. Janine, just like everything else, everybody's got a board of shareholders that they are responsible to, and the NRA makes no bones about it. Either you are with them or you are against them. They're saying is from my cold, dead hands. They're not really leaving a lot of wiggle room there. So, I mean, I don't think anybody is looking at the NRA to be, very diplomatic in this situation. But calling them a terrorist, I think, is the best way to end an argument before it starts.
Ooh, good one.
Billy from Facebook says, when the NRA supports killing people and are mass shooters more than innocent lives, it's terrorism. Billy, I'm super alarmed at this point by the fact that we've gotten so far from center that we're not even able to come to a table to have a discussion and compromise. I think anytime you want to make an organization that hasn't, by definition, been labeled terrorist, then I think that it's hard to make it synonymous with terrorism, because now we also have to redefine what terrorism actually is.
Right.
And I think that should be very clear.
I agree. Ray from Facebook says, terrorist organization, no. Fearmongers, absolutely yes.
Interesting.
Ray, way to understand that details matter, right? So terrorism, as you were alluding to real quick, is inciting a global climate of fear. That would mean the NRA would have to put guns in people's hands and say, go do violent things. I hate the NRA. I will always debate them. But do I think they're a terrorist organization? No. Will I defend their right to march and speak? Yes, it's constitutional.
Interesting. Yeah, I think, too, differentiating the part, not only fear-mongering, but corruption. How much have we learned in the past few months, in the last few months, the last 5 days, how much corruption is at the very top of the NRA and how it trickles down. So I think those are some things that you can have honest conversations about.
But I think, to be very fair, if you're going to talk corruption and how they trickle down, then we're also talking big pharma.
Oh, all lobbyists.
We're talking, right. So are we then to call all of them terrorists?
No, I don't think you should. I agree. That's why you can say they're corrupt or they're fear-mongers, but I agree. I don't think you can call them terrorists.
And words matter here. Really,
right.
It matters.
No, agreed. Coming up on DBL, it's a way to honor loved ones who have passed, but some are calling it creepy. How morticians are preserving tattoos and turning them into artwork. And DBL co-host Stephanie Jones talks fashion with style expert Bobby Thomas. They discuss old denim trends that you can still rock today with confidence.
I can't see him. Is he on? We're on. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Comment Lounge. We need a slogan like, where the comments fly like birds. We got a workshop.
Fly like birds.
No, I meant to say fly like the good times. It's a little weird. Okay, I wanted to say that Marcy M. wrote us in and said, I have been to Loch Ness. Totally worth it visiting Nessie. Absolutely gorgeous, especially Urquhart's Castle. I'm probably saying that wrong, like the Shrek prince, right? I also want to say, Margot says, Tori, believe it or not, I'm not an NRA member. And Margot's been honest about having some prepping done in her house. She has some guns. So that's interesting you say that. No one in my family, she says, I don't like any organization that seems corrupt. Now, Sarah wrote back to Margot and said, that shocks me, Margot. I got to be honest. Interesting, are there gun owners out there today who are watching that aren't part of the NRA? I'd be really, really fascinated to find that out. Does it put you off with how much money is going to politicians, or is that totally what every other lobbyist is doing? So I'd love to have you guys write in. Let the good times scroll. Oh my God, who said that?
That's so good.
Oh my God, Michael Loveland. We're out of nowhere. So here we go. Welcome to the. Okay, ready? The good times scroll. Okay, hold on. Okay, one more time.
3, 2.
Welcome to the Comments Lounge. Let the good times scroll.
Yeah!
Yeah!
From E's fashion police to being the style editor for the Today Show, Bobby Thomas has helped women of all ages and sizes find their personal style. I got to speak with her about empowering women through fashion and the most classic look of all, denim, in today's Chatting with the Stars. Hello, Bobby Thomas. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. You are a champion of empowering women to find beauty from the inside out. But I want to know, what was that personal journey like for you?
Oh my gosh, I think, where do we start? Do you have a whole hour and a bottle of wine?
Yeah, that sounds a dream.
Unfortunately, as a young girl growing up when I did, girls, we were left to sort of compete for best hair, most popular. So it's been a mission of mine, a very personal one, to find a way to support other women, knowing that putting that into the universe is only something that's gonna boomerang back, hopefully.
Awesome, I love that. Well, you've also teamed up with Lee Jeans to promote a size inclusive line, and we're only now just seeing other brands feature plus sizes, which is crazy to me, seeing as that is the more normal size in America, right?
It's mind-blowing in a way. I think for a long time there was the misperception that women above a certain size wouldn't shop or spend money. It's really exciting that social media today has helped amplify the voice of those out there looking for their size. And what was really great about talking with Lee is that they had launched a technology in Asia last year. It worked with optical illusions to help shade fabric in a unique way that would contour. They wanted to launch it here for under $30.
Seeing as you're the jean queen, we've got denim dare. So I've got an example of some really odd yet iconic denim trends, right? And I want to know how you would style them into success.
Sure.
Okay, all right, so what about the low-rise jean? I mean, this is a style that we hope doesn't come back, and it's like the scariest of them all.
I think that's a public safety hazard, so I'm just gonna err with. I don't really think that that's good for anyone. If you have a short torso, definitely go for the lower rise, but make sure that you can bend over without crack.
Oh, no one wants to see that. Let's be real. It's not a good look for anyone. Okay, what about acid wash?
You know, acid wash can be fun. You have to think of acid wash as like a print. So if you're gonna make a statement with acid wash and you want it to feel chic, a black turtleneck and a great, you know, belt with gold hardware and a loafer, you're elevating the idea of the trend in a modern way that looks more refined.
Thank you so much for your time today, Bobby. It was great to talk to you.
Great talking to you too.
And we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
What's going on, DBL Nation? Happy Friday. And it really is a happy Friday. First of all, think about all of my peeps and just all the people in general that are on our coast, North Carolina, South Carolina. I hope you guys are safe. I've got family there too and friends. Thinking about Jeff Schroeder's family, who I know is there as well. You guys got some shelter, and I hope that your things are as you left them. Also, thoughts and prayers to the Bahamas. I feel weird saying things. I feel like thoughts and prayers is such an empty thing to say, but really, I don't think that we have done a good job of really helping people grasp the devastation, and that a place that's on every map in the world is no longer what it was or what we deemed it to be. I think we go down the islands and we enjoy ourselves and we enjoy the hospitality and the way those people treat us and make us feel when we're down there. And now it's time for us to do something for them. Please give anything that you can to the people of the Bahamas as they rebuild their country. There's nothing left of it. And, you know, this kind of reminds me of Hurricane Andrew that devastated Homestead, Florida, maybe 15, 20 years ago now, where it almost like completely wiped it off the map. Sometimes there are natural disasters to the point where it's not the same place. So I hope that we do what we can for the Bahamas, because those are good people down there. And they just don't have the infrastructure. If something happens here in Denver, we have cranes, we have trucks, we have highways, we have airports. They don't have any of that. They're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and it's difficult to get them supplies, and it's easy for disease to spread, it's easy for rumors to spread, and it's also easy for panic and fear to spread. So let's try and just make sure that they're as supported as possible. Let's not have another Puerto Rico. Let's just do what we can as human beings, whether they're citizens of the country you live in or not. They're human beings, and they need your help. And at one point in time in all of our lives, we're going to need some help. So, damn it, let's start with the Bahamas. Thanks, guys.
Look out for it.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we have, Tori?
Well, Brandy wrote back after I asked, are you a gun owner and not part of the NRA? Write us in. She says, I'm a gun owner and not an NRA member, and I don't want to be. Sarah says, Tori's the best about reading YouTube comments. Thank you. And Jason says, happy Friday, Bert. I love it.
Now he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. You're right. That's amazing.
So good. All right, if you're leaving us right now, you can still watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Demi Lovato faces her biggest fear with a bold new bikini photo. The body positive message she has for fans. Then, labor pains. We'll tell you which pregnant celebrity wants her partner to go through a birth simulator and why. Plus, creepy or cool. How some families are preserving their dead loved ones' tattoos and turning them into works of art. When DBL comes back.
Hi, it's Raquel here with the DBL Digital team. Right now, it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trending news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up and get started. Now, I'd like to end the week by giving a big shout out to Tyler Perry. He's sending his very own seaplane to the Bahamas, coming through in a big way by dropping off supplies to those affected by Hurricane Dorian. Tyler's plane already made 2 shipments, and there are many, many more to come. Now, when Batman's not fighting crime, he's helping kids feel safe at school. 3-year-old Lydia was scared to go to school after being bullied. Her mom posted what was happening on social media and caught the attention of a superhero. Now he walked Lydia to school and she feels a lot more comfortable there. And who out there is ready to smell like the Biebs? Well, Justin Bieber's new deodorant line is here and it's called Here Plus Now. Now, if you're wondering what I've been wondering, what does he smell like exactly? Well, the answer is mellow and woodsy. Kind of surprising. So DBL Nation, is this something you'd buy? And finally, I'd like to say hello to my new neighbor. Kanye West just bought a massive $14 million ranch in Wyoming. Now, as a fellow Wyomingite, born and raised, also Little Miss Wyoming 1995, thank you very much, I'd like to be the first to welcome you home. Now, it's windy there, but you'll love it. And that's it for today's Fast Blast. See you next time.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Same. boat as you. I need to learn. Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Demi Lovato has a body positive message for her fans. She posted this revealing pic on social media with the caption, "This is my biggest fear," a photo of me in a bikini unedited. She added that she's done being ashamed of her body. This isn't the first time that Demi Lovato, Erica, has come forward. She's been very open and honest, not only about her body and her image and trying to be body positive, but also about her mental health issue. She opens up on social media.
Yeah, that's the reason why people love her. Or they're very emotional about her, whether it's positive or negative. And I think that that's all you can really ask for when you're in the limelight, because not everyone's going to love you. However, this screams to me, as most of Instagram posts like this do, that she is relieving herself of this burden. And by putting it out there, it doesn't have her anymore. And we've had a couple conversations about this week where people are in a lot of shame and they have a lot of anxiety over things that are happening in their life and their mind and their body. And when you have that, you throw that out there on your own terms, then it releases you. And I think she's being released.
Yeah, ownership.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I see a lot of body positivity, and I like the big curves because I have them. But cellulite, you really, really never see unless it's like, oh, we caught her with cellulite, right? Like it used to be in.
And
like,
let's be honest,
that's
we
big
all
for
have
me to see.
cellulite.
Right. For
Even
me to see
thin
that,
women, I can squeeze my leg
huge
right here.
deal.
I got a lot of cellulite. That's normal.
Yes.
That's real.
And I think that was
cellulite.
big. I think that was big.
Can I
Yeah,
just ask
good
you
for
guys,
her.
why didn't we get this with the Lisa Rinna video from 2 days ago?
I think here's the
I
deal
understand
with
the
that.
thing with the daughter.
No. I think it's the coupling of that. Again, Lisa Rinna in her own right completely celebrate her dancing
Kelly
around.
Ripa,
It's
too.
beautiful. Kelly Ripa, right? Because you feel like that there's skinny shaming. I think why people had the reaction with Lisa Rinna, and I'm not saying I did, but what I saw in the comments, and I understand it, is that Lisa Rinna has a history on the Real Housewives show to fixate on body image, to fixate on being skinny, to fixate on not eating as much. And I think people see that as not healthy when you are starving yourself, so to speak. So not insinuating that she is starving herself, but when you watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, there's moments where you could make that leap.
Do you think if she'd taken that same picture that Demi Lovato did, that she would have gotten the same body positive, "We love you"?
Well, see, that's the reason why I'm not a fan of this is a real woman. We're all real women.
We all come in different shapes.
That's the reason why I keep saying it's not about a hierarchy of what's better. It's about the fact that there was no representation
there was no cellulite
for
before. That's
Demi
why it's
Lovato body type.
Right.
So it's not that one's better than the other.
It's just there.
But it's interesting that you might think that there might be a backlash. Let's take Lisa Rinna out of it because I think
genuinely asking.
No,
like,
I think that's a great question. If somebody really thin, naturally, let's say like a Kelly Ripa were to post that photo, would there be as much support or would people call her too thin?
Well, it was also the caption, right? So she wrote a long thing being like, I had on my birthday pieces of watermelon with candles stuck in it, right? Like she really, really didn't want this picture. And now, as you said,
took ownership.
She has let it empower her and let it go. So that the caption, I think, is what got the
But I think Erica's point now is to have a more deeper discussion about not having a hierarchy.
Yeah, the hierarchy is super interesting.
Because that is something that I don't think we've fully understood, and I think people are still confused about.
But at least we're there. At least we're there, where it's on the table.
Yeah, I think that, right, and it's all on the table.
Right.
And we see that there's diversity in so many different ways. And before, it wasn't an option.
Right.
Now, we're leveling the playing field, but that doesn't mean, that means level the playing field. That doesn't necessarily mean that one's better than the other. Because I have to be honest, for the things that are new for me in representation, we've always been popping anyway, so it's just time for everyone else to catch up.
Yes, Erica Cobb, say it loud. More family drama for Britney Spears. Her father, Jamie, doesn't want to be her conservator anymore because of his own health issues, at least not for now. He's being accused of abusing Britney's 13-year-old son. Her ex-husband, Kevin Federline, or Mom Lynn might try to snag Jamie's spot, but he is recommending Britney's care manager.
I don't know if you guys follow Britney, but I'll just say that I think she does need a conservator. This isn't coming from a doctor, but if you follow her on Instagram, a lot's going on right now, and it's constant.
fast-paced workout photos with her eyes looking all over the place. I don't know if there's something wrong, but I like that there's someone backing her up. I would want a conservator. I would want some help.
I think you've been on the planet long enough to say when somebody doesn't look right.
She doesn't look right to me.
I think that's a fair statement. I don't think there's anything malicious in what you're saying.
You're right. She doesn't look right to me. And I think that dealing with that amount of money, you really need some legal help.
Her care manager has been her care manager. It's her first name's escaping me, but it's Mrs. Montgomery. She's been her care manager for the past year. Does that concern you? Given her behavior in the past year?
Yes, and any new changes with conservatory things and new people coming on board is also concerning.
Okay.
So if we see someone new all of a sudden, that's conserning.
Well, we'll have to
Lots
wait
of money
and see.
there.
I know. We love Brittany.
Are we not going to bring up the fact that
Please.
K-Fed is in the running for her conservatorship?
Is he in the running, though?
Oh, is he?
That's what we just...
Well, I know. I tend to think that that's more speculation, considering, I mean, maybe he thinks he would know the best for her, but
the court wouldn't put him in if he has a case against the father. There's too many conflicts of interest, I would assume. I would hope.
Okay, a trailer ripped straight from the headlines is out right now. Oh, Raquel, please share the details at the moment.
I can't wait, Sam. Lifetime just released our first look at the college admission scandal movie. While the film isn't directly about Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman, you can see the similarities.
Money laundering? That is real time.
You knew the consequences.
Fake SATs, fake sports for months and months without you happening to notice.
Am I gonna be arrested too?
The college admission scandal.
Gets everyone every time. The college admission scandal premieres October 12th.
It looks every bit of what I expected. If this was on Dateline 2020, I wouldn't expect a cheese fest. This is on Lifetime. I'm expecting a cheese fest.
You're okay with this, Penelope Miller?
Yeah, because it's the expectations that I want right now. I want me a Lifetime movie that's going to be cheesy.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Right.
That looked like it was pretty accurate.
No,
they'll nail the details, but they'll still make it cheesy.
Yeah, that's why. Hey, I'll sit down and watch it with you.
Will you?
We'll do a viewing party.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Sam, that wouldn't
the
happen.
funny thing about Tori, she's saying no. You're gonna watch it.
I might.
Yeah,
it
you
does
are.
Look, it does look okay.
Yeah, you are.
Wait, now are there people that are strictly Lifetime movies and people that are strictly Hallmark movies?
No, I'm both. I think we fall into the same category.
Okay.
Are you Hallmark or Lifetime or either?
I'm
definitely Hallmark and Lifetime. Whoa. I love them both. Wow. They feel like a big fuzzy blanket to me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep, very warm, very cozy. I know what I'm going to get out of it. No surprises.
I guess Sam drunk right now. It's like he's laying there.
Easy television. Easy television.
Moving slow.
All right. Guys, are you listening? Mm-hmm. You better listen up. Don't tell pregnant women how to handle childbirth, okay? Pretty Little Liars actress Shay Mitchell is documenting her pregnancy journey on YouTube, but she doesn't quite see eye to eye with her boyfriend. Watch.
You say no epidural, I say epidural.
Am I partial to no epidural? Yes. Why? Because I'm a hypochondriac. I'm afraid of drugs. My mom didn't use an epidural. Lizzie didn't. I meet women all the time who didn't choose to use epidural.
Would you get a root canal without any
love
drugs?
that analogy.
But it's true.
Now Shay wants him to try a birth simulator. You know, the ones that mimic the pain of labor so men can understand what women go through. Mm-hmm. As someone that's gone through childbirth and was unmedicated, it is horrific. It is a watermelon being squeezed out of a orange or a pear, and it's really horrifically painful. And the next time around, I will be drugged up because it's that painful. But I understand as a father, you're going to have concerns, not considering what he said, but you're going to have concerns. An epidural comes with complications. It can complicate the woman's health. It can complicate the baby's health.
Isn't that insulting the mom that she doesn't already know that?
Well, I think the
person getting the epidural, I would think, would know way more than the guy that doesn't.
But can you at least have the conversation? I think you can at least have the conversation and then support what your woman wants to do.
Yeah, I think that giving your opinion is always the way to go. Just so, like, no matter where you go from there, you can at least say, hey, I wasn't with us having a home birth, but you want to do it, we're going to do it, but you know my position.
Yes.
I think that's one thing, but like me saying you don't need any kind of, you can tough it out.
That's totally
Women
different.
die during pregnancy.
Yep.
And they have since the beginning of time.
And that's completely different. And you mentioned, Erica, that it seemed like it was a lot of eyes.
Yeah, I think that was the real problem.
Right.
I am a hypochondriac. I am afraid of needles. I know women who have done it without any drugs.
Right.
So it wasn't really about the mom, it was about him, and that was where the issue lied.
That's so well said. Well, here's an amazing story of survival coming right out of Colorado. A mountain lion attacked an 8-year-old boy, essentially biting the boy's head. 2 weeks later, he's bravely recounting the altercation. Watch.
Punching, trying to grab anything that I can, like a stick, and I did find a stick and I tried to get it in the eye, but soon the stick snapped. The mountain lion is a cheetah. No one tried to wrestle a mountain lion. It is a cheetah.
Oh my
He's
God.
unbelievable.
What a little spirit on him.
kid.
The other thing is that you do hear children are really good in terms of animals and they can sense it. I'm not sure an adult would have been so thoughtful to have grabbed a stick, thought about the eye, reached into the eye. That's an 8-year-old. That is an 8-year-old. So
An 8-year-old whose head is in a mountain lion's mouth.
That's incredible.
And that's what he had to say, because that shows you how resilient children are.
Yes.
And just to be clear, he said, don't wrestle a mountain lion because mountain lions are cheetahs. Cheaters, not cheetahs.
Yeah, cheaters.
Cheaters.
Yeah.
So
He didn't play fair. He didn't play fair.
Right.
Wow.
I'm thinking, I want to start this right now. DBL Nation, get behind me. Let's find a custom, maybe like an eye patch place, and get him a really cool eye patch,
cool.
like
I think
a
that is-
custom made.
I think that is
that'd be cool. And there's
superhero.
probably a lot of young guys young men and women that are missing an eye. So I think that could be a new little market.
Very
Let's
cool,
do it.
Al. Very cool. Coming up on DBL, a teenager sets out to help others while dealing with her own health battle. We'll tell you about the invention she came up with that's making a big difference. Plus, honoring loved ones who have died by preserving their tattoos, the procedure that some are calling creepy, next.
Going on. Just if you're in the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments, just know you can't really read people's tone of voice sometimes. So expect the best. I don't think there's anything we need to worry about. Just be civil, be kind, and I don't think you need to read into anything that people were saying. I feel very ownership of the chats, so I'm gonna put my little sheriff hat on. Do sheriffs have hats?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. They have stars too.
Walker, Texas Ranger?
Oh man, what a great show.
I don't know if it's great.
Oh, my mom and I would watch that. What was a guilty pleasure you would watch with your mom? Was there a show you would watch with your mom?
227.
Oh yeah, Murray.
Mary.
That was my first older woman crush was Jack
Jack
A.
A?
Oh yeah.
You haven't seen Black Lady Sketch Show.
No,
You
my
have
girl
to see it.
Ray writes for that show.
So Issa Rae and Robin Thede on HBO, you have to check it out. It's amazing. So many awesome cameos, but they do a 227 parody reboot, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I've heard
Do
it's
you
really
remember
good.
everybody's name? What was Mary's husband's name?
Lester.
And who was the young dude?
Calvin.
And who did Brent? Who's Brenda?
Brenda.
Regina King. That was her first.
Whoa!
Her first
She's
show.
a phenomenal actress.
Young Regina
How
King.
old was
Marla Maples?
Probably 6, 17,
Wait,
16.
Marla, no. What's Marla's last name?
Marla Gibbs.
Gibbs.
Yeah, it was Gibbs. You know black people in a nest.
Gibbs. Well,
They
we're
added that?
Cobbs, but they just
Yeah,
dropped
what-
it.
that's true. Really?
Yeah. Our family's the only one that's COBB because when my dad enlisted in the military, they just left off the S, and so we.
So
when you go to when you see your cousins or anybody with the same last name, they would be
Cobbs.
Cobbs.
Yeah, we went to my uncle's went back to North Carolina. It was all Cobbs, COBBS.
Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. There's a new way of remembering loved ones after they die. Tattooed skin self-preservation. A warning before we show you these pictures, some may find them disturbing. Tattoos on people that pass away can now live on thanks to one Ohio mortician. His business is called Save My Ink Forever, and like the name suggests, friends or family keep their late loved one's ink as framed artwork. Now, the owner defends his trade against critics by saying he is helping families fulfill their last wish. Now, Erica, your father is a funeral director. So has he seen any of this? Is this a new trend, or is this pretty obsolete?
I've stopped asking my dad about stories like this because I think that he's a little insulted by it.
Really?
This story, yes, because he feels like what he does is a service to the family and the people who loved and want to honor their loved ones, and there's a certain respect and dignity in that. That's not to say what this isn't dignified or respectful. It's just a different idea of what dignity and respect is, and it also shows that there's something for everyone out there when it comes to what happens when someone passes away, and I think that's really great if that brings comfort.
Yeah, like in the Victorian era, they kept hair of their loved ones, little locks of hair. That's weird, right?
I would keep a lock of hair.
Well, you are different. Would you do this?
Listen, I don't really see anything wrong with this. I think there's something oddly romantic about it.
Wait, no, when the Spice Girl did this, you guys all flipped up.
I was the only one to stand up for LB.
She had the skin in the jar.
That was after a divorce. That was, and first of all, I don't think I did really.
The ex's name was tattooed. And so
I think you got mad at me because I didn't find it that crazy, but I think the ex's name, carving it out and then putting it in a jar.
So the ex needs to be dead?
No, I think this is oddly.
You're wandering down crazy girl lane.
I think one is rooted in romanticism because you're mourning your soulmate,
right?
And the other one is rooted in vengeance. Do you see the difference?
One's an ex, one's a loved one.
Yeah, I didn't take vengeance. I thought she still was in love with him. That's why she kept it.
She carved it out of her and removed it herself and put it in a jar.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's a rough one.
I didn't know that.
But I don't know. Well, right now, if you have HBO, there's a documentary called 6 Ways to Die in America, and it's people just kind of dealing with the end of life and how they want to do it. One guy ground his ashes up, and then they shot a rocket off in it. It's really cool. And I mean, I saw a documentary about it in New Orleans. Obviously, they have a circle line, but also there's a company down there, a black-owned company, where I guess it's very much Louisiana, New Orleans tradition to get like a life-size cutout, almost like you would of like a famous person, and the people kind of like they put like a drink next to it or a cigar, and like people come up and hug it and take pictures with like this life-size Erica.
Yeah,
that's just it's like you're at your own wake.
No, it's not a cutout. It's the person.
It is the body.
It is the.
No, I've seen those. This one was the actual like a cutout. Yeah, I've seen those.
Staged you with like Weekend
sitting
at Bernie's
in your car,
with like a drink and a
Weekend
cigar.
at Bernie's. That's really what it is.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No, that's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. All right. The fountain of youth may not be a fountain after all, but instead a pill. The results from a new clinical study are out. Over a year, 9 men took a certain drug regime, and at the end of the clinical trial, the men appeared to age in reverse by 1.5 years to be exact. Before you start making plans to live forever, we should clarify that these results are limited because there is no placebo. But DBL Nation, we got to hear from you. Would you take an anti-aging pill? Tori, would you?
I would if it was 20 years ago. Like, I don't like the one-year studies. Yeah, I I don't like the idea
like
that
after effects,
yeah,
side
Benjamin
effects.
Button is like not real yet, so it kind of scares me. I need some more studies.
Erica, you don't need no pill, girl. You don't need anything.
Thank you, Sam. But no, this study actually makes no sense because clearly there was no constant. There's no placebo, and there's a ton of variables in this equation.
And there's only 9 people?
So this isn't a study. This is a bunch of guys who decided to sit around and take a pill and see what happens.
And also, Erica, you're forgetting it takes off a year and a half. Like, who can even tell?
That's a good point.
Like, Erica, you don't look a day over 36 and a half. Like, what is that? Like, if it takes, take a decade, now we're talking like...
There's other variables. If you stop drinking, you're going to look more than a year and a half younger. If you start working out, if you start...
There's genetics.
Yeah, right. So there's other variables too, but
we don't believe
let's see
studies
what
on
DBL
this.
Nation.
I love it.
Yes, I want to be young. 67% of you would take that
Youth
pill.
is so overrated.
You take the pill. All right.
Youth is terrible.
Coming up on DBL,
no money.
We'll introduce you to a bright 13-year-old who's not letting type 1 diabetes stop her from achieving greatness, how her school project turned into an invention that can help others like her in today's Heart Threads.
Breathe! Beauty Blast Police is here for you, honey. Now, this week, y'all, I have to talk to you guys about something that's near and dear to my heart, okay? If you guys remember, I really don't like blue eyeshadow. It's bad. It's bad. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, step away from the blue eyeshadow and nobody gets hurt, honey. Yes, ma'am, I'm Jeray for the Slay, and this week we're talking about using blue eyeshadows way too much. It's an overdone color that actually makes you look bad, my friend, and it's time to throw it to the window. Bye. So, let's get back to the basics. Why don't we use blue eyeshadow? Blues and purple eyeshadows all over your eyes will cause you to look like you are bruised and beaten, honey. It is not a cute look by any means. Now, when you're using a lot more of these blue and purple eyeshadows, it actually reminds the eye, or it reminds how we look at other people in the eye, of more of those sallow colors of bruising, of more sickness, anything like that. It's everything you don't want to look like when you're trying to feel like Beyonce, honey, okay? So instead, you want to lean more towards warmer colors. Look for warm taupes, warm browns, soft reds, soft golds. You can even use hints of blue, but just don't put it all over your eye like you from the Drew Carey show looking like Mimi or whatever, girl. Bring it back a little bit more and use it in subtle ways. So some ways you can still use blue eyeshadow but not look crazy are by popping it slightly under the eye, using it as a transition color. So maybe for a smoky eye, you can take it from black to blue for a very gentle approach. But the last thing, once again, that you want to do is keep that blue all over your eye and run out your house looking like a clown. Because guess what? Everyone's gonna tell you, Jeray for the Slay told me not to wear that blue eyeshadow. Hanny. Now, another way that you can also incorporate some blue into your look, if you're really stuck on using the blue, is maybe just using a blue eyeliner as well. This is a great way to keep a settled eye, use creams, soft browns, maybe even a little black.
Welcome back to DBL. Now today's Hard Threads is all about a teenager who invented a health device to help others like her. Watch how she's not letting type 1 diabetes stand in the way of making a difference.
This 13-year-old invented a device that has not only helped her, but also has the potential to help others. Morgan La Rochelle was devastated when she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Her science teacher challenged students to solve a real-world problem. She decided to use the opportunity to address her medical condition, so she created the blood glucose test strip dispenser.
There is a hole on each side of the device, and you put the slider through one of the holes, and you push the test strip out, and then you put it right into the glucometer.
Using the device instead of possibly dirty fingers reduces the risk of an inaccurate glucose reading. Morgan even won second place among 8th graders at the National Invention Convention.
Maybe this is my chance to make a difference, because I've been telling my parents since I was like 4. I've always wanted to make a difference.
She won second place for an invention like that? I'll demand a recount. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Is going into court too?
I don't think we knew that.
I don't think we knew that. Yeah. So if we're live, I have some like breaking news to tell you guys. I just wanted to make sure that Britney Spears' mom
Chris might
is
have some
going
in
to
his
now be
drawer back
involved
there.
in this.
I'll go check.
Here we go. Really quick. You're gonna reel behind the scenes right now. So my update is you just heard about Jamie Spears' conservatorship on Britney Spears. Well, now it looks like her mom wants to get involved and go to court. She's not directly saying what she wants to do, but you can kind of imply if you're gonna show up to that court hearing what you want. So previously, there's this Free Britney movement that exploded on social media, and she seemed to believe it, even showing up hearings, kind of advocating for that Free Britney movement. So we'll see what what Lynn Spears has in store. So let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. You have to see this video and pay close attention to the left side of the screen, okay? A man riding a roller coaster in Spain manages to catch, another passenger's cell phone midair. He says before the ride started, he saw the other guy drop his phone inside the car and prepared himself to see it once the ride started, and it actually happened.
You know what's funny is how happy he is about catching the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, you know who's happier? The woman whose face almost got smashed in by that phone
100%.
had he not caught that.
Can you imagine with glass and all of that?
And the speed?
I just know, like, put that on YouTube. There's still going to be those people, fake, whatever, dude.
Yeah,
I would have caught it with my right hand and put it in my pocket.
There's always going to be a thumbs
haters.
down.
Yes, if
no
anybody
matter
thumbs,
what.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
That's like CGI.
It is so cool. We will see you Monday, same time, same place. Have a wonderful weekend, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Too easy.
That was great.
What happened? I want to be part of it. Mike. What happened? Mike just makes it too easy. What did he say? He's like, what did he ask you, Rob? What did he ask you about the video?
I don't know.
Wow, this seems like a cool thing. So he asked me about the video, and it was like, and Rob's like, yeah, this guy catches his cell phone on the roller coaster. And we're like, Mike, what have you been doing all day? It's only aired in the show 4 times already.
He didn't understand it.
Yeah, he didn't get it.
He didn't see it. Yeah, some people don't
So you know what we were gonna
attention.
do?
Michael better.
Do you know what we were gonna do? We were gonna toss Al my phone to see if he could catch it.
That would have been the worst decision. Your phone would have dropped. It would have hurt someone.
Al
and
could
the
have
table would
caught
cracked.
But that's why we would have used Michael Better's phone.
Okay, we're doing it now. I win.
Poor Michael Better
I know.
left.
We gotta give him some love. By the way,
It's Friday around here.
It's true. XOOX just wrote in.
Where have you been, XOOX?
She said it's XOOX, but can we give our favorite new artists we're listening to? She's looking for some new artists.
I've got one. Taylor Swift.
1 minute.
Oh, great album. Love
And
her.
I thought that it would kill me, but it didn't.
But it didn't.
Okay, anyone other than Taylor
And I
Swift?
thought that
New.
Yeah, but Post Malone isn't new, but he did just drop an album today. I'm not really listening to anyone new. I'm kind of an old school kind
You're
of
a
gal.
music guru. Who's new that you like always listen to Dre for new music?
Well, Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Megan
tell
Thee
us
Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes,
Okay.
Saweetie is fire.
Saweetie.
Yes.
How do you spell that?
Saweetie.
Saweetie.
Oh, I thought he was just saying
Saweetie.
she's sweet.
Oh, no,
Is that a rapper?
Saweetie.
Is that a
Yeah,
rapper?
She's a rapper.
She's a rapper.
She's the one that did Icy. Can't stop, won't stop, get hot. Yeah, I don't know the rest. It's cool. But
Okay.
City Girls is always fire. Young Miami.
So this one introduced me to the Lizzo before anyone knew
It's
about
just
Lizzo.
Lizzo.
I know, but I have to say
Bye.
We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Erica Kopp. Do the honor, girl.
It's Friday.
Yes, it is Friday indeed, September 6th. I'm here with Erica, Tori, Al. I am Sam. Jeff has the day off. Enjoy, Jeff. Let's get right to it. Well, we do begin with fear speculation right now that the president may replace Vice President Mike Pence heading into the 2020 election. There have been reports of mounting tensions behind the scenes, plus new rumors that Ivanka Trump and her husband, Jared Kushner, are pressing Trump to replace Pence with a female running mate. They believe that's the way to win back the suburbs in 2020. And one of the names being floated is former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. She recently tweeted out of the blue that she'd never replace Pence on the ticket. Do you think, Tori, as our DC insider, that there's truth to these rumors, number one, and number two, should Trump replace Pence if he wants to have an even better shot of winning in 2020?
I'll go even farther. I think Trump might have started these rumors for a reason. I think you leak certain certain information out because you want to see the reaction. This feels very much like a leak. They have not been getting along. He made a really big mess in Ireland, unfortunately. This is Mike Pence. He stayed at one of Trump's hotels. It's not looking good. Plus, he already has the base of evangelicals. So what does he need? He needs moms from Pennsylvania. That group of people in the Rust Belt switched from blue to red, Obama to Trump. You don't make a jump like Obama to Trump without an enormous amount of reasoning. That's a big jump. So he needs to get a woman, I believe. Now, my prediction is that Nikki Haley is too good for him. I think she's running in 2024 as her own president, and I think he has to pick someone we might not know yet, but it's a woman.
Erica, will this hurt or help him in 2020?
You know, I don't know if it's going to hurt or help him, but I had made the analogy to Bravo last hour. And this hour, I'm going to say that we just started the football season, NFL season, and what happens when trade rumors supersede the actual deal. Now there's all of these things happening behind the scenes and in the locker room, and there's a lot of animosity, and then all of a sudden the drama becomes bigger than the game. And I have a feeling that this drama is about to get way bigger than this game.
And are you going to have your popcorn now, Erica?
Well, because it's a football analogy, I'm going to have a hot dog.
Oh, I love hot dogs.
Great analogy.
Good girl. All right. Well, right now, Hurricane Dorian is making landfall in North Carolina. And as we're learning more about the devastating situation in the Bahamas, let's head right to Kelly Schubert because she is the latest. Kelly.
I do, Sam. Right now, the hurricane is hitting North Carolina, bringing flooding, and thousands of people are without power. Here's a live look at the slow-moving Category 1 hurricane right now, which has sustained winds of around 90 miles an hour. But the big story today, Sam, is in the Bahamas, where we're learning more about the shocking devastation there. Now, officials say at least 30 people are dead, but they say there are hundreds and maybe thousands still missing right now. And even more disturbing, reports are coming in from the BBC that people are so desperate for food and water, they're trying to shoot each other for supplies. Sam, I'll let you know if I get any new updates on this story.
Thank you, Kelly. Horrific details indeed, Al. And, you know, some people are calling it barbaric. I don't think it's a far stretch. I can understand when your resources are stripped that you're going to do whatever you think is fit to protect your family, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I guarantee you all those people that are calling it barbaric are doing it from the comfort of their own home on a nice comfy couch. Everybody can say what they think they do. You don't know what you would do if you're running out of food for your family, for your loved ones.
Food, water,
you feel a sense of
gasoline.
lawlessness. There's no cops. There's no electricity. There's no protection.
You're starving.
And and things are starting to get very serious. The highways are blocked. I've seen this firsthand, being in a couple hurricanes in Miami. After about 24 hours of no electricity, I mean, things get a little sketchy. And for a place like the Bahamas, where we're talking about, and let's be honest about what we're talking about, a complete rebuild of a country. I mean, this isn't going to be. I mean, think about it.
Look at it. Decimated.
It took. How long did it take us to fix New Orleans?
Yeah. Right.
You know, it could have been done quicker, but we'll do that another day. But you know, I mean, that's in the continental United States. Because of where the Bahamas is located, it's difficult to get supplies there. It's difficult to keep panic from spreading, to keep disease from spreading. I mean, this is a very serious situation, and I just hope that beyond Bethany Frankel, some other countries are doing something.
So true.
I also think that it's fair, especially at this table, that we look at it. We always search for another side, another idea of the gun debate. And a lot of people don't feel like they're terrorists, don't feel like they're a danger to society. They feel like they want to be prepared should such an event occur. And that's the reason why some of these people are so adamant about protecting their rights to bear arms.
Do you think that those people are okay with an assault weapon ban since they could still keep rifles and handguns? Because I hear you, or not.
I don't know. I just know that when you have a story like this and people are modern day survivalists, they're anticipating the worst happening.
Yeah, I hear you.
And therefore it has nothing to do with what's happening day to day. It's what happens when someone comes for you. And so that might be another side of the story.
Interesting.
Well said. We are hearing from crew members on board the deadly dive boat, which was consumed by fire off the California coast over Labor Day. Of the 39 people on board, only 5 crew members were found alive, including the captain. Here's what the owner of the boat told reporters.
Captain Jerry remained on the boat as long as he possibly could, trying to get those radio calls in. They said that they could see Jerry jump from the upper deck, a long jump, and that there was a trail of smoke following him. They thought he was on fire.
The owners of the boat company have reportedly filed a lawsuit to limit the amount of money victims' families can get, while investigators continue to search for what caused the fire. So here's the thing, Tori, you are our legal eagle. If they find there's no negligence on this boat after the investigation is complete, Will those families still get money? And how is he even able to file this lawsuit almost like as a preempt to what he believes will happen?
Yeah, I want to look more into it. It almost sounds like an injunction, or they might have filed a lawsuit saying we don't have enough money to do so, therefore this is a limit. If there's no negligence found, no, there's no reason to sue. However, there is a theory about cell phones charging in the galley that caused some kind of spark. And again, it looked or felt like to some of the crew members like an explosion. There's oxygen tanks all over the place on a dive boat. Some of these viewers wrote in and said it's very crowded on these boats too. Apparently there were only 2 exits and the fire took over both. So they didn't have any fire practice. There was no fire alarm designed to deal with that. And they also didn't have a night watchman. A good lawyer could use that and just put it as negligence.
Is it fair though, because a lot of people are assuming that this measure, in order to limit the amount of money victims' families can get, is some type of admission of liability or guilt.
Totally.
But isn't it also possible that they're retroactively getting legal insurance?
Yes, and insurance will play a huge part in all of this. And I think what they're saying by this lawsuit, and I'm not sure, is there's a limited amount we can pay, and we're about to get hit with an inundation of lawsuits. Here's where the limit is, here's where we can go. But any good lawyer in this case will find something, because something went terribly wrong.
And those families are searching for answers.
And they need some money
100%.
for, yes,
Yeah.
exactly, they deserve it.
An American Airlines mechanic has been arrested for sabotage. The man is accused of disabling a navigation system on a flight with 150 people aboard before it was scheduled to take off in Miami. According to the complaint, the mechanic was upset over a labor dispute. Thankfully, Al, no one was injured, but people are saying this is more than just a criminal act, that this is terrorism. What do you think?
Again, the word terrorism, I just think it's it's used to scare people into falling in line with your ideologies. I don't think that was the case here. I don't think that a lot of people that are sane, especially sane enough to hold a job at American Airlines as a mechanic, would have those types of ideologies. Is it possible? Yes, everything's possible. I think what's more plausible is that this guy wanted more money.
Disgruntled.
And the way that you get, yes, the way that you get more money is by working overtime. And the way that it's no different than if I repaired iPads for a living and I need a little extra time, you'd be like, Al, is my iPad ready? I'd be like, oh, yeah, Sam, the enter button.
Yeah, but you know that your
weekend.
iPad doesn't risk people's lives. As a mechanic, he knows, not saying that this is a completely malicious act, I'm not saying that at all, but you know that your negligence, that the worst case scenario will cause 150 people to die because of your negligence. So by him doing this as a gamble to see if he can somehow impress upon his bosses that they need to make it right with him, he still is weighing out that risk, and that is alarming to me.
Well, it's interesting that you said it may not be a malicious act, but it certainly was a narcissistic act.
That's what I'm thinking, for somebody this selfish,
yeah,
would they do this?
To put your needs of paying a bill in front of 150 lives shows a certain degree of lack of awareness and narcissism that should probably be looked into.
I agree.
And to be truly honest about it, I really get the feeling that he's going to be made an example of, because what else can you do in a situation like this?
Yeah, it's going to be a deterrent.
People have to understand, like, everyone's thinking short game. This is a very long game life, and to put your bill in front of lives is ridiculous.
And just so you know, they were about to take off.
I know, they're on the runway.
Yep,
very scary. Right. Well, I'm glad that it was thwarted and every passenger is safe. After years and years of speculation and fierce debate, here we are. We are closer than ever to the truth about the Loch Ness Monster, you guys. A new study examining millions of DNA samples from across the water has some surprising results, including a potential answer to the question that has plagued generations. Watch.
There's an awful lot of eel DNA in Loch Ness. Could there be a giant eel? Well, we know there are mutations that make things much larger than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We just showed an eel. And I think that could just be for every type of rumor we have.
Just an
That's
eel.
really what it is. You could see that at the Seaquarium.
Right, but you're acting.
You mean an aquarium?
There's a Seaquarium.
You mean an aquarium?
There's a Seaquarium.
An
you find things in the sea.
I go to the
aquarium.
Monterey Bay Aquarium.
No,
I
it's
go
called
to
a
the
Seaquarium.
Denver Aquarium.
There's
I've never gone to the Monterey Bay Sea Aquarium.
It's a Seaquarium.
No, it's not. This is in your head.
Let's look this up. I want the people at home to back me up.
Producers.
Seaquarium. What's that look for?
I'm trying to
There
figure
are
out. I'm
sequels.
trying to see what you're talking.
Oh, wait, so we've got Bert Dubrow, our senior
And I
executive
lived in
producer,
Miami 10 years.
shouting out that, okay, so Miami has a sea aquarium.
Yeah, so
Miami does.
I'll
Okay.
accept your apologies during the break.
Oh! Burn.
But my point is, they didn't just go take a photo of an eel owl. They actually
That's
have
exactly
DNA.
what they did.
They have. You mean our producers did with some graphics? But in reality, they have. You're a pre-med biologist major. They took DNA samples, and these were old-aged DNA from centuries ago of an eel-like species. So it's not like they took a photo and they're like, "Yep, it's an eel."
But
there's actual science behind this.
No, there is not, Sam. There's
So
a
you're not
black and
saying
white photo that was
you're not
debunked
saying-
in
I'm not
1993
talking about the photo.
when Tupac was still
You're
alive.
hung up-
We've known this.
You're hung up on the conspiracy part of it. Take away the conspiracy. I just got out of time. Okay. All right. Al and I can continue this conversation later, I guess. DBL is live. Coming up, Demi Lovato makes a bold statement on social media with a bikini photo, the empowering message she's sharing with fans. Plus, DBL co-host Stephanie Jones sits down with beauty and fashion expert Bobby Thomas. She gives us the lowdown on all things denim. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. A city group's decision to declare the NRA domestic terrorist organization has people talking. So what do you think? We'll share your comments next.
So now I look like I have,
I felt
I'm like
naked without.
like a hacker.
I felt uncomfortable.
Well, then don't blame me for taking your iPad.
So Al, we can continue our conversation. So let's take away, because I get it. There's like a weird negative connotation when you think about the conspiracy behind that photo, Loch Ness Monster. Let's take that word out of it and let's say that there's an ancestor of the current eel that resembles the Loch Ness Monster. And maybe there's been confusion in the past when people thought that they spotted it.
But the video we showed didn't look like a Loch Ness Monster. It looked like a big eel.
Well, because that one photo has been debunked. But maybe other people that described
Why don't we have a picture of it then? Everybody's got a camera phone. Shouldn't we have pictures
Well,
of
I
everything?
think it's extinct, the DNA that they looked at. I think they looked at DNA that they saw an evolution of it.
Yeah, I mean, we all have, our DNA goes back to our ancestors. So yes, it will have a lineage, but I don't think that means that it looks anyway like a monster. I think somebody needed a way to go get people to go to this gray, sad town, and the way they did that was making up a monster in this pond, and people went.
Is it a pond or is it a lake?
It's a lake, but I mean, it's not. You didn't think you could fish in it.
Yeah, I wonder how murky those waters are, because if it's very murky waters out, people could very easily misconstrue a large eel for what they believe to be the Loch Ness
There's
Monster.
probably also a lot of pubs around that lake.
That's true.
So people are getting
First of all,
hammered.
a large eel looks monstrous. It looks prehistoric.
I've always said everything in the ocean looks like a
First
monster.
of all, a large eel looks.
It's monsters
Look
down
at if
there.
we never had seen a whale before, and then all of a sudden you see a whale.
That's why I don't like whales.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They're huge. Tori has a. Let's just say she has a phobia of big whales.
No, I think we can say that.
Yeah. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, San Francisco has declared the NRA a terrorist organization, and it wants other cities to follow suit. City officials say that the NRA spreads propaganda and arms people who are committing acts of terrorism. Now, gun rights advocates have responded, saying it is a charitable organization protecting our constitutional rights. So, DBL Nation, do you consider the NRA a terrorist organization? Erica, take it away.
Well, Jean from Facebook says the NRA is only interested in helping gun companies to have a revenue stream. They could care less about Americans being killed by other Americans. You know, that's an interesting point, but I think that there are other organizations that could fall into that same thing, including Big Pharma. I want to be really specific when we're talking about the definition of terrorism in today's climate, because I don't want it to become so ambiguous that we're throwing things in just because it's how we feel versus what the definitions are.
So
yeah, it takes away from the power of the word. We just call everything, Sam, you're a terrorist. You took my
It also
lunch.
makes people completely shut down and not listen.
Right.
Yes.
So if your goal is to have conversations with people and try to convince them of whatever your ideology is by throwing out really harsh names like that, people are going to shut down.
Right.
So it's counterproductive.
I agree. Billy from Facebook says, when the NRA supports killing people and our mass shooters more than innocent lives, it's terrorism. Billy, I see where you're going, but I think the sadder thing is I don't think they care. I think they're worried about their shareholders, and I think they're worried about making a profit. They showed Wayne LaPierre's extensive mansion. I think he spent $600,000 on suits over the last couple of years.
So call them corrupt, call them fearmongers, call them animals, evil, whatever you want to say.
Right, yeah, all the things but a terrorist. Like, save that for the people that really deserve it. People like Dylan Roof and a lot of the other domestic terrorists where we surprisingly are very hesitant to call them.
I know, isn't that the truth?
So weird.
It's a very good point. Well, Ray from Facebook says, terrorist organization, no. Fearmongers, absolutely yes. Fully agree with you, Ray. Can't express how much Erica stated what I wanted to say. The word terrorism means I incite terror and global fear, a climate of fear. That means that the NRA has put guns in people's hands and told them to go incite violence. They haven't done it.
But what if they've said in commercials, just to play devil's advocate here, and I've seen some of their ads where they are saying that that it is a slippery slope and that you will be forced to pretty much become your own militia and protect yourself.
Again, defending yourself is fine. It's the idea of inciting violence with no provocation.
But is that called propaganda by putting that in someone's mind?
Sure,
it's called buy more guns. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell more guns.
So you not call it marketing, while other people might define that as propaganda, though.
They're marketing to people that buy their product. And when you talk to people that have guns, they usually don't just have one. They have 40, because they're going after their market. The people are coming, they're going to take it, so you better get 50 more.
The government can't say to citizens, we don't like your politics, therefore you're a terrorist. That's not okay.
Got it. All right, we will be right back. Out of time.
Why are drivers 50?
Are we on? Hi guys, welcome to the Comment Lounge. Wait, one more time. Ready? 3, 2. Hey guys, one more time. 3, 2. Hey guys, welcome to the Comment Lounge. Let the good times scroll. Huh? That's good. It's Michael Loveland. He came up with it. It's so good. And he came out of it with no other tries. Did someone just throw something at me? Was Jeff here?
I bet that was Leo. I bet money.
Leo wouldn't do it. That's Al. Al, did you just throw a pen at me? Okay, interesting. Did you guys see that? If you did, please write me in. This is John Venturini says it's TBL edition. Tory Blast Live. Also, he says it's not an eel, it's a Rorschach plot. That's really funny. And then someone wrote in, Yoon, bows and arrows are better than guns. They're also much, much harder to use. Have you ever done archery?
I have once or twice. I think Yoon is, I don't want to be wrong, but I think Yoon is Native American.
Really?
I'm fairly certain
Interesting,
I've seen
that's
that
true.
before. Yeah.
Well, bows and arrows, I took archery because I am that cool.
Ooh.
And I gotta be honest, it isn't the aiming, and it's not the arrow.
It's the arm strength,
It's the freaking bow. I can't get the thing to go.
It's like so many pounds of pressure.
I'm like, I mean, what? So one of my best memories is we read Odysseus in class in 10th grade.
I love that book.
And my teacher was John Burkhart. He had white beard and great voice, and he would read the part of God and Odysseus, and at one point they shoot an arrow. Okay, well, he took us out and shot an arrow into a tennis ball.
Well, that's cool.
And then I was like, huh. Anyway, to teachers everywhere, and to archers.
Yeah.
From E's fashion police to being the style editor for the Today Show, Bobbi Thomas has helped women of all ages and sizes find their personal style. I got to speak with her about empowering women through fashion and the most classic look of all, denim, in today's Chatting with the Stars. Hello, So, Bobby Thomas, welcome to Daily Blast Live. You are a champion of empowering women to find beauty from the inside out. But I want to know, what was that personal journey like for you?
Oh my gosh, I think, where do we start? Do you have a whole hour and a bottle of wine?
Yeah, that sounds a dream.
Unfortunately, as a young girl growing up when I did, girls, we were left to sort of compete for best hair, most popular. So it's been a mission of mine, a very personal one, to find a way to support other women, knowing that putting that into the universe is only something that's gonna boomerang back, hopefully.
Awesome, I love that. Well, you've also teamed up with Lee Jeans to promote a size inclusive line, and we're only now just seeing other brands feature plus sizes, which is crazy to me, seeing as that is the more normal size in America, right?
It's mind-blowing in a way. I think for a long time there was the misperception that women above a certain size wouldn't shop or spend money. It's really exciting that social media today has helped amplify the voice of those out there looking for their size. And what was really great about talking with Lee is that they had launched a technology in Asia last year. It worked with optical illusions to help shade fabric in a unique way that would contour. They wanted to launch it here for under $30.
Seeing as you're the jean queen, we've got a denim dare. So I've got an example of some really odd yet iconic denim trends, right? And I want to know how you would style them into success.
Sure.
Okay, all right, so what about the low-rise jean? I mean, this is a style that we hope doesn't come back, and it's like the scariest of them all.
I think that's a public safety hazard, so I'm just going to air with. I don't really think that that's good for anyone. If you have a short torso, definitely go for the lower rise, but make sure that you can bend over without crack.
Oh, no one wants to see that. Let's be real. It's not a good look for anyone. Okay, what about acid wash?
You know, acid wash can be fun. You have to think of acid wash as like a print. So if you're gonna make a statement with acid wash and you want it to feel chic, a black turtleneck and a great, belt with gold hardware and a loafer, you're elevating the idea of the trend in a modern way that looks more refined.
Thank you so much for your time today, Bobby. It was great to talk to you.
Great talking to you too.
And we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Segment edition of Can We Make Al Squeal? Basically. Are you paying attention?
Yes.
Okay, so guys, check it. This you're gonna be able to see it. If you go to Jordan Coombe on Twitter, there was a pit bull in a car, right? And it reached out its little head and it went back and grabbed a little teddy bear to stick out the window because there was another dog it was trying to impress outside the car in another car.
That's really cute.
Okay. So we made because of Lila, you feel a special connection. Layla.
Yeah, you said Lila.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Was she a retired woman in Hollywood, Florida?
I was thinking more Eric Clapton. Layla, choo choo, choo choo, got me on my knees, baby.
Got me on my knees, I think you're missing out on life. We need to get you a huge music overhaul. You may start making you playlists.
Clapton is not okay for you?
I didn't say, yeah, but when are you going to listen to that, though?
Like cooking. I cooked to Clapton last night.
Yeah,
Cooking with Clapton. Is that a thing?
But it's like you're allowed to get music from,
this generation.
Just the last 25 years.
Do you want to know something? My father-in-law walked down the stairs and goes, I heard this new artist, Eric Clapton. I heard his Unplugged. He's going to be something. And they were like, he is something.
Let me see the last song you downloaded.
Okay. Oh, God. It's Taylor.
Okay, that's okay. A lot of people download Taylor.
And I listen to it a lot.
Are you one of those people you get one song and you just listen to it?
So the first song is all about, I forgot that you existed, and I thought that it would kill me, but it didn't. And all I do is listen to that over and over, and Brooks is like, I love you, but I need to walk away now.
What does Brooks listen to?
Awesome music, like all the way to the very Beatles.
Well, he's a musician,
rock. Yeah,
so
listens
he's
to good
hearing
music.
different things when he's listening to music.
It's amazing what he hears. But I do really like, someone was asking for new music, and we talked about Saweetie. I think that's the name.
Saweetie, yes, I have.
And I would recommend Bleachers. It's a great band, Jack Antonoff, and came from Fun. You know Fun, the group?
No.
I recommend Bleachers. And Vampire Weekend, have you heard of them?
Yes.
Okay. Have you heard any of their music?
No.
Okay. We should do a segment on switching music playlists for a day.
Yeah.
What if I had to listen to his music and he had to listen to mine?
I think you'd like my music.
I think you'd love my music.
I don't know. You played it at the campsite and
I played John Denver twice because I was really happy in
almost
Rocky Mountain High,
it
and they
was
almost
really
all
bad.
left me.
Everybody. It was a universal
And so I played
stopgap.
it again. I was like, you just played
But
this.
you played it like, now you guys are really gonna like it. It's when you tell a joke and it gets nothing, you're like, I'll wait till it's quieter, I'm gonna retell it.
It's exactly what it
It
was
was
like.
terrible.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was lovely. And we were in the, were we in the Rockies?
No.
Okay, we were close.
No, we weren't.
We were in the same state.
We were like 10 minutes from Black Star Casino.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we have, Tori?
Well, Jason Anderson wants to know, Seaquarium sounds like a tourist trap in the giant malls and also a trademarkable name.
Is that like a double entendre?
Seaquarium?
I mean, it's just kind of, you're just repeating the same thing.
But no, it's C and C.
Okay, what else is in the aquarium?
They have, there's
Like,
concessions.
is there land aquariums? No, I mean, they're like, what?
They're called zoos.
Here's what we have coming up next.
Demi Lovato faces her biggest fear with a bold new bikini photo. The body positive message she has for fans. Then, labor pains. We'll tell you which pregnant celebrity wants her partner to go through a birth simulator and why. Plus, creepy or cool. How some families are preserving their dead loved ones' tattoos and turning them into works of art. When DBL comes back.
Hi, it's Raquel here with the DBL Digital team. Right now, it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trending news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up and get started. Now, I'd like to end the week by giving a big shout out to Tyler Perry. He's sending his very own seaplane to the Bahamas, coming through in a big way by dropping off supplies to those affected by Hurricane Dorian. Tyler's plane already made 2 shipments, and there are many, many more to come. Now, when Batman's not fighting crime, he's helping kids feel safe at school. 3-year-old Lydia was scared to go to school after being bullied. Her mom posted what was happening on social media and caught the attention of a superhero. Now he walked Lydia to school and she feels a lot more comfortable there. And who out there is ready to smell like the Biebs? Well, Justin Bieber's new deodorant line is here and it's called Here Plus Now. Now, if you're wondering what I've been wondering, what does he smell like exactly? Well, the answer is mellow and woodsy. Kind of surprising. So DBL Nation, is this something you'd buy? And finally, I'd like to say hello to my new neighbor. Kanye West just bought a massive $14 million ranch in Wyoming. Now, as a fellow Wyomingite, born and raised, also Little Miss Wyoming 1995, thank you very much, I'd like to be the first to welcome you home. Now, it's windy there, but you'll love it. And that's it for today's Fast Blast. See you next time.
This is Daily Blast Live. We are talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
Yeah. Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Well, Demi Lovato has a body positive message for her fans. She posted this revealing pic on social media with the caption, "This is my biggest fear." A photo of me in a bikini unedited. She added that she's done being ashamed of her body. That's very real. I mean, in the sense that, why is that? And I can also say that that would be a fear of mine. Like, Why is there such a fear, do you think, Erica, with showing ourselves in our rawest form, which should be our most beautiful form?
Right, because we have been trained to make other people feel comfortable with making us feel uncomfortable. And that goes across the board for a lot of different things. What we're seeing now is people saying that if I can't be authentically who I am, then I don't want any parts of this. And it's a very empowering thing. That's where the empowerment, I believe, comes from. I know it's important that the representation matters so much, because if you see it, you can be it.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's the idea of you saying, I am not going to be held by this anymore. I am going to authentically be myself, and I am releasing this. That's what she's doing.
Good for her. And it's so funny because it comes off as such a bold move, because when you look at Instagram, it is so curated.
So filtered, that's right.
Filtered. Yeah. Edited. There's apps, you know, to blur out cellulite, to blur out stretch marks, to shrink you. I think all women have cellulite. We all have stretch marks. But there's so many apps that tell you, no, 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 here's how you fix it.
Right, and in her caption, she says that. She says, I've never posted without a filter. So she says this is like the first for her. First of all, cellulite is awesome to see. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
We all talk about body positivity, but it's still touched up. Do you know what I mean?
It is.
Lizzo on the cover of Marie Claire, great, but I want to see cellulite because I have it and it's important for visual representation. The other thing is this. What Erica said is that it no longer holds her down. She's let that go. She said, I used to eat watermelon instead of birthday cake with a candle stuck in. I used to always just deprive. Sometimes you hit a limit and you can't deprive yourself anymore. She just took the power back.
Does this surprise you as a man? Like, is this as prevalent with do you, like, do you feel the need to use a filter? Do you feel the need to?
Jeff says a lot of times that he's learned a lot from sitting on the panel with Erica and I, because he's like, we brought up things that he would have never, ever thought about. And I feel like Jeff right now, in that, like, sitting with you guys, I'm starting to understand, because my first question when I heard all these, I was just like, every man that I've known and have ever known prefer the Demi Lovato body type. So this was very weird for me. It'd be like a campaign trying to get people to like cheeseburgers.
It's
I was
not
like,
what we've been
everybody
given.
I know likes this. So I'm learning from you guys that, first of all, it's not about dudes. Who cares about us? It's about the way you guys feel about each other, about yourselves.
And then it comes in all shapes and sizes.
Right.
That all shapes are beautiful, not just the Demi Lovato size.
Right. So then that led me to my second question, because we have done stories about this week, in particular about Lisa Rinna. We've done stories about, remember when, who was it that puts a picture of themselves up in lingerie to remember not to overeat for Thanksgiving?
Oh,
she had three names.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they got backlash. So then my second question, as a man that's just literally just coming to this world, is why was that greeted? Why was that not considered bold and empowering as well? A woman that's worked out and it has achieved certain physical.
I think for Sarah Michelle Gellar, people were rubbed the wrong way because it felt like that she was starving and shaming herself into feeling a certain way that she wanted to look.
Which is unhealthy, right?
Some people might think that, other people might disagree and say that was her way to motivate herself to lose weight.
Right.
And then when it comes to Lisa Rinna, I think the video you're alluding to is something that she recently posted on Instagram, where she's dancing very freely, very beautifully, in her own skin, in her bikini, and that comes off on the surface as empowering. But people that are familiar with her and the show, they tend to see her constantly fixate on being skinny. And so they find that is something that is more of a fixation and unhealthy, rather than just saying, this is how I naturally am and I love the way I am.
I think it also goes back to something that you said, and you said this before, Al, and I didn't jump down your throat when you said most guys prefer this. I know that what you mean, and I know that you're careful when you say that,
right.
But I think that's a part of the problem.
I agree.
It's a part of the idea that I need to be something that I'm not in order to be accepted by someone.
Because now I automatically want to feel heavier.
As opposed opposed to just being who you are,
yes,
and taking what comes or rejecting what comes.
You feel something.
Right.
Yeah,
That made you feel. What he said made you feel
I don't have
something.
curves,
right.
and so then it makes, when I hear you say that all your friends like women that look like Demi Lovato, it makes me feel like, oh my God. And I know that's saying, believe me, I know that's not your
I've learned from
intention.
you too. Like,
it's just remember, women come in all different shapes and sizes, and all should be celebrated, and all should be beautiful.
And see, I never thought until you mentioned it that like you've had issues with your weight, like feeling skinny.
Yeah,
and I was like, I think everybody's like, what?
Yeah,
so
it's a thing.
You were learning about each other.
It's
I love
a thing. I think critiquing someone's body, never do.
That's right.
Never do. More family drama for Britney Spears. Her father, Jamie, doesn't want to be her conservator anymore because of his own health issues, at least not for now. He's being accused of abusing Britney's 13-year-old son. Her ex-husband, Kevin Federline, or mom, Lynn, might try to snag Jamie's spot, but he is recommending Britney's care manager. Now, Tori, you love Britney Spears. You have your own theory with this. I would love for you to talk about it, and then I have a question considering.
Okay. So her dad has really terrible colon issues, and in fact had a ruptured colon at some point. Very ill. So I understand he's too sick. But from the Instagram photos and the videos that I've seen, even from today, all of this stuff with Kevin Federline and her dad, and maybe she's just not trying to address it, but it's her doing these crazy crazy videos in these fast paced, and her eyes don't look right to me. And I'm just saying that as a concerned fan.
We've seen Britney healthy, and we've seen Britney not healthy.
Right.
And I think that's what you're referring to.
Right, and she doesn't seem all there is what I'm saying in the eye. So all I'm saying is whoever it might be, get a conservator. Don't leave her alone.
If the woman that's been her health manager for the past year and some change is the one that's up for the conservatorship, and you feel like in the last year and some change she hasn't been well, do you think that's the right person for the job?
No, and remember a manager once, Sam, that manager that did a lot of drugs, the same kind of thing happened. I'm not saying it is, but I think Jamie Lynn would be a really good choice. It's not the mom, it's not the dad, it's the sister who's always had her back. That's a loyalty you can't fake. So I think she might be suggested.
All right, wow. We'll follow the story. Our thoughts and prayers with Britney. We just want her to be well.
Yeah.
A trailer ripped straight from the headlines is out now. Raquel, you gotta share the details.
Oh, get excited, Sam. Lifetime just released our first look at the college admissions scandal movie. While the film isn't directly about Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman, you can definitely see the similarities.
Money laundering? That is real time.
You knew the consequences.
Fake SATs, fake sports for months and months without you happening to notice.
Am I gonna be arrested too? Do it! No!
The college admissions scandal.
Whew. The college admissions scandal premieres October 12th.
Certainly cheesy.
So cheesy.
But I think people that love Lifetime movies like myself, that's what we expect, and we would be disappointed if we didn't get what we expected.
Yeah,
Just saying.
giving you what you want.
That's right.
The scandal.
Yes, Tori.
Sorry,
could have done the VO for us. You could.
Sorry.
All right, guys, listen up. Do not tell pregnant women how to handle childbirth. Pretty Little Liars actress Shay Mitchell is documenting her pregnancy journey on YouTube, but she doesn't quite see eye to eye with her boyfriend.
Well, he's taller than her.
You say no epidural, I say epidural.
Am I partial to no epidural? Yes. Why? Because I'm a hypochondriac. I'm afraid of drugs. My mom didn't use an epidural. Lizzie didn't. I meet women all the time who didn't choose to use epidural.
Would you get a root canal without any
You love
drugs?
that analogy.
But it's true.
Now Shay wants him to try a birth simulator. You know, the ones that mimic the pain of labor so men can understand what women go through. Yeah. Listen.
You've gone through
I've
it.
gone through childbirth.
Let's hear from you.
And my childbirth with Sophie was largely unmedicated, and it is very painful. I definitely left my body at one point and like floated around like a bluebird from a cartoon, and like it is enormously painful. But I also think, you know, I think those conversations with your partner are perfectly, not saying this one, but perfectly natural and normal. I want to hear input from my husband. There is complications with epidurals and drugs, not only for the mother, but for the child. So I think those conversations should be had. However, there's a way to have the conversation, and there's a way to empower the person that has not only carried the child, which is a huge sacrifice for 9 to 10 months, but also after having the child, if they choose to breastfeed, is still burdening their body for both of your child. So I think there needs to be some respect with that conversation.
Yeah,
and empowerment.
I agree. I don't think
upliftment.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but it's also like you're talking about something that both of you guys are extremely passionate about.
Of course.
It's not like, what are we going to have for dinner?
Of
Okay,
course,
we'll have
you
steak
should
tonight.
be part of the conversation.
So I think it gets a little hairy with guys where I think if a guy knows what's good for him, he'll stay in his lane. But at the same time, if he's really passionate, like if somebody that I was with wanted to have a home birth, I would have some reservations about that, especially until I did more research. But I'd be like, what if something happens? I would never forgive myself if something happened and we're in my attic.
You're the father.
You should have input on the birth plan. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
well, that's part of the birth plan.
Where does it,
Epidural's part of the birth plan.
Absolutely.
Well, the real problem here is that he was very focused on himself.
You think?
Like, I'm a hypochondriac. I don't like drugs. I know women who blah, blah, blah. So it was about him. It wasn't about the person carrying the child.
And there was shame involved.
And that's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
And he was shaming her essentially by saying, I know women that have done it.
Yeah,
My mother's done it. And it makes you feel, listen, just have the conversation together, but at the end of the day, try and empower and uplift the person that's squeezing a pear out of a watermelon. Or a watermelon out of a pear, because let me tell you, it's real.
I feel sorry for Sophie when it's time
real.
for the sex talk. Here comes mom with a picnic basket.
I love it.
Well, we're on daytime TV, Al. I can give you the real terminology.
I taught it for 5 years. I know it. Where's that Miracle Life video?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Here's an amazing story of survival coming right out of Colorado. A mountain lion attacked an 8-year-old boy, essentially biting the boy's head. And 2 weeks later, he's bravely recounting the altercation. Check this out.
Punching, trying to grab anything that I can, like a stick, and I did find a stick and I tried to get it in the eye, but soon the stick snapped. The mountain lion is a cheetah. No one tried to wrestle a mountain lion. It is a cheetah.
Resiliency?
Yes, it speaks to the resiliency of children. I mean, this is a kid who's saying the mountain lion, no, don't try to wrestle the mountain lion. It's a cheater. So he's upset that the mountain lion didn't play fair. He has all the marks on his face, and he still has such a beautiful spirit.
You guys are missing the beauty. He's gonna heal. He's going to have a couple scars, and now he's going to have the best stories ever at the bar.
At 8 years old.
Yeah, finish about your driver's ed story. I wrestled a mountain lion.
When I was 8.
Yeah.
Coming up on DBL, a teenager sets out to help others while dealing with her own health battle. We'll tell you about the invention she came up with that's making a big difference. Plus, honoring loved ones who have died by preserving their tattoos, the procedure that some are calling creepy. Next.
You dream?
Oh, is that right?
Okay, all right. I have a question for our DBL Nation, and maybe you guys can give us, because we're looking for a term. There are days when certain hosts are gone. Today, obviously, we're missing Jeff. So people will fill in, and sometimes we should do the 10:30 show, 11:30, 12, 1 and 2, and 5:30 show. And every once in a while, a host will do all those shows in the same day. And we want the term for it. Tori suggested the gauntlet.
I think you could say you're running the gauntlet. Travis likes that.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Some people suggested hitting for the cycle.
Huh? Yeah, I've done it one time.
I've done it a couple times. Yeah.
Okay. How many times?
I've probably done it like 4 times.
Oh, is that right? Okay, my bad.
But that's over the course of 2.5 years.
Wow.
So it doesn't happen often.
Oh, it's hard.
Especially since access went down to three chairs.
Right, it doesn't happen that much.
Yeah, but back in the day.
We used to do it every time. Season 1, we were doing it every day. I would do all of them.
But there was no 10:30 or 11:30.
Oh, that's it. That was the difference. Yeah, man, it is. I like gauntlet. What's another way? Running the...
I feel like it should be a play on DBL. Like
oh.
double.
Steve from the booth said Iron Man, but that's
Someone said Marathon Blast Live.
Gender specific.
Steve from the booth should be saying, my day, every day.
Oh, yeah.
You lazy people.
Yeah, right? He's there all day.
Pretty much.
6 is
a heptathlon.
It is?
Wait, 6? Hextathlon. Hexagon, right? You're 6?
Yeah. Someone said the Grand Slam.
Ooh.
The Marathon Blast Live.
I like the Grand Slam.
It's different though when you have to freaking...
I've never gotten a Grand Slam from Denny's. Do you have to be a certain age?
Was such a leap.
You know what? I have.
Really?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Wait, what do you mean? Is that something for little people? For like young kids?
It's 55 plus.
Oh, it's for older? Oh, I am so old then.
Grand Slam?
Yeah.
Wait, no, but that's kind of just their signature dish.
That's what I thought you get at Denny's.
I get the skillet.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, or the patty melt.
Really?
Yeah, and just a cup of coffee. There's something about diner coffee. I just
Oh, it's
like
the best. In the cup?
Welcome back to DBL. There's a new way of remembering loved ones after they die, tattooed skin preservation. A warning before we show you these photos. Some may find them disturbing. Tattoos on people that pass away can now live on thanks to one Ohio mortician. His business is called Save My Ink Forever, and like the name suggests, friends or family keep their late loved one's ink as framed artwork. The owner defends his trade against critics by saying he's helping families fulfill their last wishes. Erica, your father is a funeral director. You must have seen some pretty odd wishes. What do you think about this?
Well, my father, I would describe more as old model. This feels a little bit more new model.
Okay.
Because anytime there's something that people are doing with bodies that aren't embalming or cremating, my father tends to go the route of we're trying to preserve a memory and do it in a dignified way in order to respect the dead and respect the family. I'm not saying that this isn't dignified. I just think it's a new model and people have options now.
I like the idea that it's on the menu. We're talking about things that are on the menu for the first time and body images. A lot of people die and grieve in way different ways. I mean, zoom out from America and you have a lot of different cultures. So I have no problem with if this gives you some kind of comfort. I have no issue with the way you grieve. Jews cover their mirrors with black tarp and rip their clothing. Well, that's going to be weird to some people. This is going to be weird to some people, but let everyone grieve the way they
I think it's oddly romantic.
Oh, you like it?
I don't know if this is something I would do. I know my husband has our wedding song tattooed on his forearm, and I think that's beautiful. Possibly a picture of him and I could see the tattoo would be the best bet.
Maybe.
But I also don't find this that creepy or weird.
No?
No, I don't.
No.
Preserved human flesh just hanging in your home.
It didn't. It doesn't. It depends how it looks. The photos that we saw don't look,
except for the last one.
The last one's fine.
If you walked in somebody's house and you're like, oh, this is great,
Like,
what is
that's
this?
crazy.
And you're like, oh, that's my husband's back skin. You just know you're never leaving that home alive.
Back skin.
Like, that's, yeah,
Believe
that's the
me,
last,
it
the last
feels
thing you hear.
taboo, but I also,
Yes,
I think
exactly.
it's oddly romantic. I really do.
That's cool.
Okay, all right. The fountain of youth may not be a fountain after all, but instead a pill. The results from a new clinical study are out over a year. 9 men took a certain drug regime, and at the end of the clinical trial, the men appeared to age in reverse by 1.5 years to be exact. So before you start making plans to live forever, we should clarify that these results are limited because there was no placebo.
Is that the only reason?
Oh, yeah.
What else, Erica?
Let's see. There was no placebo. There were too many variables in the equation.
No control group.
No control
That's
group,
right.
so there's no constant.
A small
what was the
subject
thesis
group.
and hypothesis? Have anyone gone to school? You are a science person.
Yes.
You're the science.
I was going to call you a scientist, and that would not have been right.
I am a scientist. I have a degree in biology.
There you go.
A science
That's cool.
person. That sounds like the way you legally get around not being a scientist.
A science educator.
I have driven past several science places. No, I mean, first of all, let's do 10 guys. Just give a round
9 is
number.
weird.
9?
I thought this was weird, and I also think it's weird that it's only a year and a half that it takes off of you. Let's go into some decades before we start making announcements like this. But I don't know. Once we start understanding telomeres and like how we kind of at least slow down the aging process, I don't think this is that crazy. I mean, look at people.
I don't think it's that
look
far
at like
off.
how people look now in their 40s
I
and
know.
50s. Like you'll stand behind somebody and they're ripped in their 50s.
If you found out that this pill would be like the Benjamin Button pill,
right,
and there was no side effects, or maybe slight side effects to just make this a little bit more of a caveat.
Yeah, I'm in the visual imagery business. I'm in a visual, yes, maybe.
You're in the visual imagery business?
Hey, science talking guy.
the visual imagery business. That's good.
It's
okay.
true.
Yep.
That's
Coming
not
up-
true. Don't let her get away with that.
Don't get away with science talking, guy.
That's Erica.
Coming up on DBL, we will introduce you to a bright 13-year-old who's not letting type 1 diabetes stop her from achieving greatness, how her school project turned into an invention that can help others like her. It is in today's Heart Thread. Stay tuned.
Hey DBL Nation, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray for the Slay, and while we're here, go ahead and pull up those search bars, J-A-R-A-Y for the Slay, okay? Let's be friends and let's talk more about what your beauty needs are. Now for today, we're talking about skin that slays. And in today's Skin That Slays episode, I wanna talk about the nitty gritty, guys. The good stuff that really makes your skin get going. I'm talking about serums. Yes, I said skin serum, okay? Not scarum, serums, all right? Now, a serum is going to be more of a concentrated value of ingredients that are helping to change and make sure that your skin looks its absolute best. Now, with skin serums, you don't want to actually be overdoing it at the same time and lapping on serum plus oil plus all this extra stuff. So you kind of actually want a basic routine when you're using a serum. But let's go back to what a serum is. Serums are going to be a highly concentrated value of vitamins that are going to be able to be a much smaller molecule so that they're able to get into your skin. Now, when you're using a serum, these are typically helping with affecting change in the skin, such as dryness, radiance in the skin, or maybe even for more acne-prone skin too. A couple of different serums that you can get would be like a hyaluronic-based serum for more hydrating skin. A antioxidant-based serum would be something with retinol. This guy is going to be for more brightening into the skin. Another one would be a serum with salicylic acid. These guys are going to be for more of your acneic skin type or people with more clogged pores. Now, serums are a wonderful way to actually treat your skin, but don't forget to make sure that you still cleanse your skin beforehand and moisturize afterwards. This will help to make sure that your serum is actually going to get into your skin and really help you out. So until next time, guys, let me know what your favorite serums are, and maybe we can go ahead and mix and match with some serums, okay? We'll see you guys next time for your next Beauty Blast.
Welcome back to DBL. Now today's Heart Threads is all about a teenager who invented a health device to help others like her. Watch how she's not letting type 1 diabetes stand in the way of making a difference.
This 13-year-old invented a device that has not only helped her, but also has the potential to help others. Morgan La Rochelle was devastated when she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Her science teacher challenged students to solve a real-world problem. She decided to use the opportunity to address her medical condition, so she created the blood glucose test strip dispenser.
There is a hole on each side of the device, and you put the slider through one of the holes, and you push the test strip out, and then you put it right into the glucometer.
Using the device instead of possibly dirty fingers reduces the risk of an inaccurate glucose reading. Morgan even won second place among 8th graders at the National Invention Convention.
Maybe this is my chance to make a difference, because I've been telling my parents since I was like 4. I've always wanted to make a difference.
She won second place for an invention like that? I'll demand a recount. We'll be right back.
Promotional consent.
Okay, upon first looks, its appearance is appealing. It looks like it could have come out of a very cute European bakery for everyone at home. This looks like something we could definitely buy at a bakery, so that looks good. I'm gonna break it in half to see what this white liquid is. It smells quite sweet. Doesn't smell bad. Okay. Oh, I like that. That's good, actually. To improve, I actually feel as though there could be more of the white stuff. I feel like it's very, oh, there we go. God heard my cry and answered. The white stuff is where it's at. I'm gonna give this a strong, I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 actually, because I would eat this. This is something I would keep at like work, in my drawer.
when I get a bit peckish and I fancy a cup of tea, instead of dipping a biscuit in, Brits, you can dip and dunk one of these and your afternoon is complete. So over and out from me and Mr. Twinkie, I'll leave you with this beautiful visual.
Well, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, everyone. We will see you Monday, same time, same place. Stay safe, everybody. Bye, guys.